At this time, at the gate of the Qingming sword sect, two disciples were on guard. One turned to his junior brother and said, "Junior brother, I think the great matter of your life is about to be resolved." The junior brother was bewildered. "Why, senior brother?" The other laughed and replied, "You're really a fool. Just look at how many beautiful new female disciples there are. You just need to put in a little effort, and I bet many junior sisters will fall for you and form a connection." While the two were chattering away, the junior brother was suddenly startled, pointing to the sky and shouting, "Senior brother, look at the sky!" Over the skies of the Qingming sword sect, dark clouds suddenly gathered, covering a vast expanse of the sky. The two were terrified, not understanding what was happening. Just then, a fierce thunderstorm with lightning erupted. In the middle of the sky, an angry voice echoed throughout the Qingming sword sect. "Qingming, you old dog, I've come for revenge." As soon as the voice faded, a giant bolt of lightning struck down from the sky, hitting the Qingming sword sect's mountain-protecting formation. The entire Qingming sword sect trembled violently. What was that? Why is heavenly lightning striking our Qingming sword sect's mountain-protecting formation? Quick, I'll go inform the sect master. You go ring the alarm bell immediately. After saying that, the two hurriedly split up, each going their separate way, leaving in a rush. Meanwhile, in the new students' dormitory, chaos reigned. What's happening? Why are the seniors in such a panic? Everyone look at the sky. Where did all these thunderclouds come from? This is only my first day in the sect. Eyes. My cultivation journey going to end here. Don't panic, the seniors will come and save us. The new students were in a frenzy everywhere. Some were running around shirtless, some were screaming in terror, others were holding their heads in fear, and some were just hugging each other waiting to die. At this moment, the junior brother had reached the alarm bell. Without hesitation, he jumped right in and struck the bronze bell with all his might. The clang, clang, clang sound echoed throughout the Qingming sword sect. In the sky, a giant wolf was hovering right above the Qingming sword sect's mountain-protecting formation, looking down. This demonic beast swung another claw of lightning down at the mountain-protecting formation. The Qingming sword sect's mountain-protecting formation was instantly shattered. The 1,000-year-old protective formation of the Qingming sword sect was broken so easily, the entire sect gate plus the adjacent mountain peak were destroyed by this one move from the demonic beast. A senior brother flew to the new students' dormitory and shouted, "New disciples, do not panic, everyone follow me to take shelter." At this moment, someone was rapidly flying towards the demonic beast. The demonic beast struck with another claw, but the other person arrived just in time, precisely blocking the beast's attack. "What vile creature dares to cause trouble at my Qingming sword sect?" As he finished speaking, the beast's claw was shattered by his strike. It roared in fury. "You insolent brat, you shameless junior! You dare call me the Thunder Demon, venerate a vile creature? Fine then, today I've come to settle a score with old ancestor Qingming. All of you tell him to get his ass out here for me. This old wolf is the Thunder Demon Venerate who was sealed by the Qingming ancestor 3,000 years ago. Now after 3,000 years of breaking the seal and escaping it, immediately ran to the Qingming sword sect for revenge. This demonic beast took my full attack and seems completely unfazed. It's just as the records say, the founding master sealed a thunder beast 3,000 years ago. This person is the master of the Qingming sword sect, Jue Yunzi. The Qingming ancestor ascended to immortality 3,000 years ago. If you wish to find him, you should head towards the immortal realm, not come to harass our Qingming sword sect." The Thunder Demon Venerate let out a strange laugh. "Ha ha ha, hilarious, truly hilarious. That old geezer Qingming actually managed to ascend to immortality. Fine, then you are the descendants he left behind. Today, I'll first wipe out everyone on this mountain. Then I'll head to the immortal realm for revenge." Hearing this, Jue Yunzi's face changed. He immediately ordered a disciple behind him. "Go to the 7-star peak and ask the Grandmaster uncle to come and assist." The disciple acknowledged the order and upon finishing his words, swiftly flew away. This thunder beast has the bloodline of an immortal beast originally on par with a Mahayana stage cultivator. After falling into the demonic path, its power surged even further, perhaps even rivaling the level of a heavenly immortal. Although I am at the integration stage, I am still no match for this thunder beast. Right now, I can only stall it for the time being, buying time until Grandmaster Uncle arrives. A note for everyone. A cultivator's strength is divided into 9 realms. Body refining, Qi, refining foundation, establishment, golden core, nascent soul spirit, severing integration, tribulation Mahayana, and after Mahayana is ascending to immortality. Although Jue Yunzi's cultivation was no match for this demonic beast, he showed no fear, holding his sword tightly standing in front of the beast. "You want to level my Qingming sword sect? Then you'll have to let me Jue Yunzi test my strength against Senior Thunder Demon Venerate to see what this unparalleled cultivation is like." The Thunder Demon Venerate angrily roared, "Die, you ants." Then it swung a claw towards Jue Yunzi. Jue Yunzi could only do his best to defend. A claw and a sword clashed with crackling lightning swirling around. The disciple from earlier was still flying rapidly towards 7-star peak to find the Grandmaster uncle as instructed by the sect master. 7-star peak, this mountain was quite isolated from the others. This disciple finally arrived. As soon as he landed on 7-star peak, he ran straight to the Grandmaster uncle's room. Because of the urgency, there was no time for formalities. He knelt down directly and got straight to the point. "The Qingming sword sect is under attack. The sect master sent me to invite Grandmaster uncle to leave the mountain and provide aid." From inside the room, the Grandmaster uncle's gentle voice echoed out, "I know." Opening the door and stepping out was a young man with long, flowing platinum hair. "No need to panic. Where is Jue Yunzi now? This person is Bai Qiuran, the disciple of the Qingming ancestor who ascended to immortality, about 3,000 years ago at the Qingming sword sect. Bai Qiuran is currently the Grandmaster Uncle of the Qingming sword sect. This disciple was wondering what the Grandmaster Uncle looked like, and when he looked up and saw Bai Qiuran, he was quite surprised. But he quickly answered Bai Qiuran's question. The sect master is currently at the sect gate, fighting that demonic beast. Oh, I see. Bai Qiuran calmly replied. The disciple was surprised earlier first because of Bai Qiuran's youthful appearance, but what surprised him the most was Bai Qiuran's cultivation level. There's not a single trace of true essence. Grandmaster Uncle is only at the Qi refining stage. He's only at the Qi refining stage. Are you kidding me? What the why could this disciple see? Bai Qiuran's cultivation level, because he was at the foundation establishment stage, one realm higher than Bai Qiuran. Qi refining stage. Isn't that the level even the kids at the foot of the mountain can reach? With the strength of that thunder demon venerate, let alone a Qi refining stage cultivator, even a nascent soul or integration stage cultivator would just be food for it. This disciple's eyes went white. His forehead dripped with sweat, and he looked at Bai Qiuran with utter disappointment. It's over. It's really over. Tonight is the end of the Qingming sword, sect Damn. It all-seeing. Bai Qiuran continued to walk away. The disciple was slightly astonished. Grandmaster Uncle, what are you planning to do? Bai Qiuran suddenly bent down, getting into a jumping stance. The disciple kneeling beside him also didn't understand what the Grandmaster Uncle was trying to do. After gathering momentum, Bai Qiuran launched himself into the sky, heading towards the sect gate. Bai Qiuran left, leaving behind a cloud of dust and the disciple still kneeling on the ground, looking up at Bai Qiuran's figure gradually disappearing in the distance. What the hell was that? The scene shifts to the front of the Qingming sword sect's gate, where Jue Yunzi is in a solo battle with the thunder demon venerate. In the sky, lightning crackled and occasionally an earth-shattering explosion occurred. Below, the disciples of the Qingming sword sect were cheering for their sect master in the fight. Go sect master, because his cultivation level was far inferior to the thunder demon venerates. Jue Yunzi was gradually being suppressed. Jue Yunzi was finally hit by the thunder demon venerate's heavenly thunderclaw. Boom, boom, boom. Jue Yunzi was sent flying. His whole body crashed down onto the ground of the Qingming sword sect's gate, shattering the earth and creating a large crater. The disciples who witnessed this all held their heads in despair and screamed, "The sect master has been defeated. I really wasn't cut out for cultivation. Mom, I want to go home." Jue Yunzi was now trembling all over, fresh blood flowing from his 7 orifices. He struggled to prop himself up with his sword on the ground, trying to keep from falling. The difference in realms is indeed too great. This fight was too forced. The thunder demon venerate laughed heartily. Ha ha ha. 1,000 years later, the successors of that old Qingming geezer are all worthless. No different from ants. You've lost. It can't be helped. Old dog Qingming, today, I will make your sect disappear. The thunder demon venerate prepared another move, lightning swirling and gathering on its horn. It intended to destroy the entire Qingming sword sect with this one move. But just then, Bai Qiuran shot in from a distance, landing a heavenly punch straight into the thunder demon venerate's mouth. It broke countless of its teeth. Its whole body was sent flying, crashing headfirst into the gate of the Qingming sword sect, shattering the ground. All the disciples, both new and old, who witnessed this were initially stunned into silence. But just a few seconds later, they all jumped up in joyful celebration. That monster was sent flying. Amazing. Is there someone in the sect even stronger than the sect master? Who is this? I don't know, but go for it. You're about to own that demonic beast. Turns out I am suited for cultivation after all. Bai Qiuran jumped down from the sky, landing in front of Jue Yunzi. Grandmaster Uncle, you've finally arrived. The thunder demon venerate in the distance growled in anger. What piece of trash from where dares to sneak attack me, the thunder demon venerate? I am Bai Qiuran. Bai Qiuran casually pointed his sword at the thunder demon venerate. Today, I, the direct disciple of the Qingming ancestor, will entertain you for a bit. Going back in history a bit, Bai Qiuran. This was the most terrifying name for the ancient Qingming sword sect. About 3,000 years ago, demons and devils ravaged the 10 lands of the 9 provinces, and the people lived in extreme misery, confusion, and fear. At this time, there was a man named Qingming Dao, who proudly took the name Qingming, and with just one sharp sword, he slew demons and exorcised ghosts, bringing a piece of peace to the 10 lands of the 9 provinces. A peerless genius sword immortal was thus born into the world. Much later, he took in a few disciples and founded the Qingming sword sect, and Bai Qiuran was one of Qingming Dao's disciples before Taoist. Qingming found him as an orphan. Bai Qiuran wandered the battlefields, surviving on leftovers from the bodies of the dead. The first day Qingming Dao met Bai Qiuran, he saw him sitting alone eating a steamed bun on a pile of corpses. Young man, do you want to change your destiny? Who are you? I'm not giving you this steamed bun. Because he was born with a heavenly spiritual root of the wood element, Bai Qiuran was noticed by Taoist. Qingming taken up the mountain as a disciple and ranked third. Bai Qiuran's talent was top tier. He began cultivating at age 10, and at 12 he broke through the bottleneck of a mortal body, condensing qi and refining his body. At that time, the entire Qingming sword sect, and even the whole cultivation world, which had gone through a great calamity and was listless, placed very high hopes on Bai Qiuran, believing he would become the second Taoist Qingming. And Bai Qiuran did not disappoint everyone's expectations, quietly continuing to strive. At the age of 17, he became the youngest, setting a new record in the cultivation world, officially becoming the first to reach the 10th level of the qi refining stage. His master Taoist, Qingming, was overjoyed. He even gave up his secluded cultivation to prepare for the heavenly tribulation, personally coming out to refine a furnace of superlative foundation, establishment pills for Bai Quran. With the foundation establishment pill given by his master and the blessings of his fellow disciples and seniors in the cultivation world, Bai Quran went into secluded cultivation that night to break through to the foundation establishment stage. He consumed the pill-gathered qi in his dantian, and his consciousness connected with the meridians and bones in his body. 3 days later, Bai Quran opened the door and walked out. "Master, I didn't break through." Bai Quran's face was radiant. He did break through, but he broke through to the 11th level of the qi refining stage. Taoist Qingming still tried to comfort Bai Quran. "Quran, my child, don't worry. There are many strange and wondrous people in the world. The qi refining stage can have up to 15 or 20 levels, but after breaking through, your future potential will be limitless. Good disciple. No need to worry. Just continue cultivating as usual." "Yes, I understand." Not long after Bai Quran's master Taoist Qingming successfully passed his tribulation and ascended to immortality growing wings on the day of his ascension. 3,000 years passed quickly. Bai Quran's senior brother became the sect master. Then he failed his tribulation and perished. Even the youngest junior sister, Lu Shizun, successfully reached foundation establishment and learned to fly on her sword. And Bai Quran, the disciple, with the highest talent, successfully cultivated to the 664th level of the qi refining stage. To this day, even the child he brought back from the mountain over 700 years ago has become a great elder, and he is still working tirelessly, constantly striving to succeed in foundation establishment. Returning to the present after seeing Bai Quran appear, the thunder demon Venerate thought, a worthless qi refining stage brat dares to talk big and receive me on behalf of Taoist Qingming. This made the thunder demon Venerate burst out laughing. "Ha ha ha, what are you talking about over there? This is the funniest joke I've heard in my life. A worthless qi refining mortal dares to stand up and claim to be a disciple of old man Qingming. Get out of the way. Seeing as you've amused me, I might spare your life." "Of course not." Bai Quran hated it most when people mentioned his cultivation level in front of him. Bai Quran's face contorted, a vein popping on his forehead. "You got a problem with the qi refining stage?" The thunder demon Venerate grew angry, and a ball of lightning formed in its mouth. Just a few seconds later, a terrifyingly powerful blast of thunder shot out from the thunder demon Venerate's mouth, flying straight at Bai Quran. The disciples hurriedly shouted, "Sect master, get out of the way!" But Jue Yunzi stood still, his eyes closed, a smile on his lips. Bai Quran still stood there, shielding Jue Yunzi, his sword raised high to the sky, and then he immediately swung it down. Terrifying sword qi erupted from the blade, directly clashing with the thunder demon Venerate's attack. Incredibly, this one sword strike from Bai Quran shattered the attack of the thunder demon Venerate, whose cultivation was comparable to a heavenly immortal. The terrifying sword qi then continued to slash fiercely towards the thunder demon Venerate. The thunder demon Venerate was frozen in place, like, what the hell? What on earth is happening? The thunder demon Venerate couldn't react in time, and as a result, was sliced in half by Bai Quran's sword qi. Its 2 giant halves fell to either side with a thud, dust flying everywhere. All the disciples who witnessed this were agape with shock, speechless. After Bai Quran's sword strike, the dark clouds in the sky dispersed, and even the moon was scarred by the slash. It was surreal. The sword couldn't withstand the power and directly melted. Bai Quran then pulled out a new sword from his storage ring. Don't underestimate a qi refining stage cultivator. "You ant, I'm very strong, you know." The scene shifts to the main peak of the Qingming sword sect. Now in the council chamber. "This time thank you, Grandmaster Uncle, for saving us. If it weren't for Grandmaster Uncle, whose cultivation can match a Mahayana-level thunder beast, I'm afraid not only would the Qingming sword sect have faced a great disaster, but all the people in the surrounding area would have been in peril too." Bai Quran spoke up. "It's all right. Master left behind a lifetime of disciples, and now I'm the only one left. Protecting the sect he left behind is, of course, my responsibility." The thunder beast attacked suddenly. Luckily, no disciples in the sect were seriously injured this time, but we need to rebuild the sect gate. Bia Yunzi, I'll leave the matter of rebuilding the sect gate to you. Go and make the arrangements for restoration quickly. "Yes, sect master." This Bia Yunzi is the 3rd elder of the Qingming sword sect. As for the mountain protecting formation and the work of protecting the sect gate, Qingyun, you take a disciple and supervise this matter. As for the financial needs, let Liu Yun assist you. The 2 replied in unison. "Yes, we will handle it immediately." This girl with long black hair is the 7th elder Qingyun Yuanjun. The blonde woman next to her is the 6th elder Liu Yun Yuanjun. These 2 young women are both elders of the Qingming sword sect. After receiving their tasks, the 2 quickly flew off and left. In the council chamber now, only Bai Quran, Jue Yunzi, and 3 other elders remained. Bai Quran was still glancing at Jue Yunzi as if he had something to say. "Grandmaster Uncle, is there anything else you wish to instruct me on?" Bai Quran sighed. "Ah, time really flies. From a clueless kid back then, I've now become a cool sect master. All thanks to your care, Grandmaster Uncle. If Grandmaster Uncle hadn't stepped in to save me back then, Jue Yunzi would have died during the demonic sect's siege." Bai Quran suddenly stood up and said, "Tomorrow I want to go down the mountain for a stroll. Jue Yunzi quickly spoke up. Grandmaster Uncle, the sect was just attacked by the Thunder Beast. The other sects will surely hear the news. If there's no one here, I'm afraid I won't be able to handle it if something happens. Bai Qiran glared at Jue Yunzi and said, You yourself are the sect master of one of the 5 great sects. Can't you beat the other 4 sect masters? And those 4 demonic sects, led by that old demon head, is any of them your match? Even if you can't beat them, I don't believe you as the sect master. Plus a group of integration and spirit-severing stage elders can't protect this sect. But why is Grandmaster Uncle suddenly going down the mountain? It's been several hundred years since you moved to 7-Star Peak, and you've never come down. Qingming Mountain. Bai Qiran hesitated and said, Because I have a feeling I'm about to break through. Jue Yunzi's face was basically saying, In your dreams, Grandmaster Uncle. Bai Qiran continued to pace back and forth, hands behind his back. I feel that this time I can definitely succeed in reaching Foundation Establishment. But my superlative Foundation Establishment pill is missing a few ingredients. I need to go down the mountain to find them. The 2 elders were all too familiar with this routine from their Grandmaster Uncle. They knew he was bullshitting but didn't dare to say it, just sitting and listening quietly. I've been beating around the bush for so long and these nephews of mine are still pretending not to understand. Bai Qiran directly held out his hand to ask, This is too tedious. Do you have any heavenly heartgrass? Give it to me. Grandmaster Uncle. I was preparing to take this heavenly heartgrass to the Tao Alliance auction. Besides, even if I give it to you, it's not certain you can break through to Foundation Establishment. It's really a bit of a waste. Being teased by Jue Yunzi, Bai Qiran got angry, a vein popping on his forehead. He glared at Jue Yunzi. Fine. You don't have to give it to me. I'll go find little Liu Yun then. And while I'm at it, I'll chat with her for a bit. About that incident 300 years ago, when you along with Zhuan Yun, Fu Yun, and Bai Yun went to peek at her, and Qing Yun bathing at night. As soon as Bai Qiran finished speaking, the second elder, Xuan Yunzi, immediately stood up. Rushed to Jue Yunzi, knelt and pleaded, Sect Master Senior, Brother Grandmaster Uncle, has protected our Qingming sword sect for over 3,000 years. Now he just wants a small poisonous herb, and you're not willing to give it to him. Xuan Yunzi was now hugging Jue Yunzi's leg, crying and begging. The 4th elder, Fu Yunzi, also spoke up. That's right. We must respect our master. Grandmaster Uncle is our elder. If an elder needs something, we disciples must of course do our utmost to get it for him. That is filial piety towards him. Jue Yunzi looked helplessly at Xuan Yunzi and Fu Yunzi. You guys. At this time the 5th elder Bai Yunzi also spoke up. Sect Master Senior, Brother, what 2nd and 4th senior brothers said is very persuasive. Besides, you were the one who led everyone that year. If Liu Yun and Qing Yun get angry, I'm afraid you won't live to see tomorrow's dawn. Thinking about Liu Yun and Qing Yun getting angry at him, knowing his life would be in danger, Jue Yunzi broke out in a cold sweat on his forehead. He looked up fearfully at Bai Qiran, Grandmaster Uncle. Jue Yunzi was cornered by the 3 and sat down dejectedly on the chair. The 3 of them looked at Jue Yunzi very seriously, because if Bai Qiran told the story of the 4 of them peeking at Liu Yun and Qing Yun bathing, the 4 of them would be dead for sure. Jue Yunzi was pushed to the point where his eyes went white. Grandmaster Uncle, I am your junior disciple. Whatever you want, you can have it. Of course, I will have someone bring it to you on 7-Star Peak. You can come and get it yourself. Who do you think you are to mess with me? You're still too green. At the main peak, a ground-shaking explosion occurred, and someone shot up into the sky from there. That was Bai Qiran. Because he only had a chi-refining cultivation, Bai Qiran couldn't fly on a sword. Every time he wanted to go somewhere, he had to jump using the ground as a platform and his feet as a springboard. He would just jump and launch himself even faster than others who could fly. Having just swindled the heavenly heartgrass from Jue Yunzi, Bai Qiran was in a very good mood, laughing gleefully in the sky. Sweet. Everything is ready. Tomorrow, I can go down the mountain. This time, I can definitely succeed in reaching Foundation Establishment. Bai Qiran had now returned to 7-Star Peak. He looked into his house and was a bit startled, because someone was there. Bai Qiran emotionlessly opened the door and walked in. Well, damn, thought it was someone else, turns out it's an old acquaintance. Bai Qiran slapped his forehead and sighed. Ah, Zhui Ling, it really is you. What brings you here to find me? Zhui Ling looked at Bai Qiran with no expression. After a moment, Zhui Ling finally opened his mouth and said, Bai Qiran, your great calamity is about to arrive. Bai Qiran stared at Zhui Ling with lifeless eyes as if to say, what the hell? The two stared at each other in silence for a long, long time. Bai Qiran suddenly waved his hand and said, why did it have to be today of all days? All right, I get it, you can go now. After Bai Qiran spoke, Zhui Ling stared at him silently for an even longer time. Zhui Ling then looked at Bai Qiran with a weary expression and said, it's been over 3,000 years. Shouldn't you just give up? Bai Qiran nonchalantly picked his nose, pretending not to understand. Give up what? I don't know what you're talking about. Zhui Ling couldn't take it anymore and roared in anger. After all these years, you still can't break through to Foundation Establishment. What the hell are you still cultivating for? Hurry up and die. Come with me to the Ghost Realm. As you've all seen, Zhui Ling is from the Ghost Realm of the Underworld. He is a subordinate of the Yama Kings, responsible for reaping the souls of the dead, also known as a soul-reaping emissary, unless Zhui Ling himself wills it. Humans cannot see soul-reaping emissaries, not even those who have ascended to become immortals, except for this soon-to-be-dead Bai Qiran. Although Bai Qiran's strength is unparalleled and domineering in every way, even an immortal beast from the heavens could be slain with a single sword strike. His cultivation is still only at the chi refining stage. A normal qi refining cultivator, even if they live a long time, can at most live for around 300 to 400 years. In those 300-400 years, if they still can't refine qi into essence and break through to foundation establishment, their mortal body will just wither away, and their soul will be reaped by a soul emissary to be reincarnated in the underworld. But Baichuran is not like a normal qi refining cultivator at all. First, within Baichuran's body, there is an endless amount of true qi protecting his physical form, which will absolutely never decay. Furthermore, it's because Baichuran possesses a heavenly spiritual root of the wood element. His body can completely absorb the medicinal properties of pills, and the heaven-defying part is that he can use pills without limitation. The so-called immortal longevity pill, each time consumed, can increase one's lifespan by 5 years. But due to its medicinal properties, a user can only take it a few times before it loses its effectiveness. But Baichuran doesn't have this limitation, so he relies on longevity pills to give himself an extra 3,000 years of life. Furthermore, Baichuran and Xueling first met over 2,000 years ago. At that time, Xueling had just become a low-level soul-reaping emissary, and his very first soul-reaping mission was when Baichuran's lifespan was about to run out for the first time. At that time, Baichuran was trapped inside the ruins of a true immortal, unable to refine longevity pills to extend his life. Recalling that Baichuran was in a state of excitement because he had never been to a place so full of spiritual energy. This feeling of cultivation, that's right. This is the feeling of wanting to break through. But just then, Xueling arrived from the ghost realm, appearing behind Baichuran. Just at the critical moment when it seemed he was about to break through to foundation establishment, Xueling leaned in and whispered in his ear, "Baichuran, your lifespan is up. Come with me." And so Baichuran's momentum for breaking through to foundation establishment was interrupted. Baichuran angrily turned to look at Xueling. He was just cherishing the illusion of reaching foundation establishment, only to be disturbed by some damn guy who appeared out of nowhere. So Baichuran vented all his anger and frustration on Xueling. And so Baichuran went all out and gave Xueling a beating he would never forget. That day, Xueling was beaten so badly by Baichuran that he was unrecognizable. As a result, not only did Baichuran escape the rule of becoming a ghost in the underworld, but he also ended up assaulting Xueling. Because he was so bitter, Xueling refused to let it go and chased Baichuran for a whole month. But after Baichuran consumed a new furnace of longevity pills, Xueling had to swallow his anger and return to the ghost realm. "Baichuran, you bastard, I will definitely bring you back. You just wait." And so, the two of them became enemies. Over 2,000 years later, every time Baichuran's fate was about to run out, Xueling would appear to cause him trouble. Every time he met Baichuran, Xueling would repeat the same line, "Your great calamity has arrived," a phrase that haunted Baichuran. Until a few hundred years ago one day, while Baichuran was sleeping, he suddenly heard the familiar phrase, "Your great calamity has arrived," and woke up with a start. That day, Xueling didn't come alone. He brought all his soul-reaping emissary brothers from the ghost realm to bring Baichuran back. The ghost realm dispatched a large number of soul reapers to assemble and act with Xueling. The result was the same as always. Of course, they were no match for Baichuran. From that day on, the ghost realm slowly gave up on the idea of capturing Baichuran's soul. Now Xueling basically treats Baichuran's lifespan like an alarm clock. Whenever Baichuran's calamity is approaching, this soul-reaping emissary will surely come to inform him, and the first thing Baichuran thinks of is to go refine a furnace of longevity pills. Your sea of qi is countless times larger than a normal person's foundation. Establishment requires suppressing true qi and turning it into essence. With so much true qi, you're trying to refine a sea of true essence inside your body. Impossible. You should just obediently come back with me to the ghost realm. The immortal emperor even said that if you agree to die, he will make you the great king of the ghost realm, ruling over the 10 halls of the underworld. Baichuran decisively answered, "I don't want to. I want to reach foundation establishment." Xueling was speechless, looking at Baichuran, at a loss for what else to say to this stubborn guy. He had to open the path to the ghost realm to prepare to leave before leaving. He didn't forget to remind Baichuran. The rules are still the same. If the time comes and you haven't found a way to extend your life, I will come for your soul. Baichuran's face was like, "Oh, I'm so scared." He sighed and flopped onto his bed. For 3,000 years, Baichuran has made reaching the foundation establishment stage his goal every year. Every year, a great calamity approaches, and every year, he has to take longevity pills to continue living day by day. Before, there were some people who had high hopes for him. Some ascended, some failed their tribulations, and some fought for glory against others, as for those who only wanted to harm him and the people of the Qingming sword sect. They all died at his hands. Not a single one was lucky enough to survive. For 3,000 years, he has thought about finding a lover for himself. Every time he finds a girl he likes, she ends up with someone else. Even more painfully, those guys were all his brothers. He himself has been single and lonely like this for 3,000 years. He refused to succeed as the sect master or the grand elder of the Qingming sword sect, instead going to the most remote place, 7-star Peak, to live as a hermit alone. Without a Dao companion or fame, he practiced qi refining for 3,000 years, just hoping to succeed in reaching foundation establishment. Thinking about how after breaking through to foundation establishment, he would have to be on guard against Xueling, finding him all day. Baichuran tossed and turned in bed, muttering how troublesome it was. It seems this time going down the mountain I'll also have to find medicinal herbs for longevity pills. Within the mortal world of the 9 provinces, there are 10 countries, and at the foot of Qingming Mountain is the Shangshuan Kingdom, which is one of those 10 countries. The next morning, in a small town at the foot of Qingming Mountain, coincidentally, the materials Bai Qiuran wanted to find for pill refinement this time could all be found in the Shangshuan Kingdom. After flying down to the foot of Qingming Mountain, Bai Qiuran went to a horse stable, esteemed customer. What do you think of this horse? My surname is Bai White, so of course I have to ride a little white horse. All right, I'll take this one. Without another word, he jumped straight on and rode off. Just like that, he threw down a lump of money and rode away on the horse. Bai Qiuran didn't rely on his cultivation to quickly find medicinal herbs. Instead, he chose to buy a horse and then leisurely ride it along the road to the Shangshuan Kingdom. Bai Qiuran was in a cheerful mood now, whistling as he went. This is how you're supposed to enjoy going down the mountain. Arriving straight at the destination on horseback is the style of a true player. Let's go for a ride. Let's go for a ride. First destination is Kaohsiung. At this rate, it'll probably take 6 or 7 days to get there. While Bai Qiuran was busy looking at his map, a shout from ahead told him to stop. Turns out, he'd run into robbers. Where did that white-haired brat come from? This mountain was opened by me. This tree was planted by me. If you want to pass this way, you have to leave some toll money. Bai Qiuran wasn't paying any attention to the robber's words. He was only concerned with how to stop this horse. Previously, every time he went looking for herbs, he would use his terrifying cultivation to fly straight there. This time, for some reason, he impulsively bought a horse to ride for fun. Since it was his first time, he didn't know how to control horses. He had been fumbling around for a while just to stop it. Bai Qiuran then turned to look at the robbers, feigning terror, and said, "Why are you gentlemen stopping me? Is something the matter? We brothers happen to meet you, young master, with your extraordinary aura, and we'd like to borrow some money to get by. We're all in the same boat in this world, so we should help each other, right?" As soon as the leader finished speaking, his 2 underlings' weapons ready blocked Bai Qiuran from behind to prevent him from escaping. "So you are robbers. If I remember correctly, this is the official road of the Shangshuan Empire. Since when have bandits been rampant here, robbing people in the middle of the road like this?" The one with the beard was the leader, looking quite burly. He seemed to be the strongest, his cultivation at the late body refining stage, while the others were at the mid-stage. "So what if it's the official road? The Shangshuan Emperor is currently gravely ill and in critical condition. The Imperial Guards have long been dispatched elsewhere. If you don't give my brothers some spending money, don't even think the Heavenly King himself could save you today." "Ha ha, is that so?" These blockheads had no idea that this pale-faced, seemingly delicate young man was in fact the Heavenly King himself. When he came down from the mountain a few hundred years ago, the Shangshuan Empire was still a happy and peaceful place. The people were lively and lived happily, but now it's not like that anymore. Cultivators have nothing to do with the power struggles of the mortal world. This is what his master had taught him, but if you encounter robbers and bandits on the road, that's a different story. At this moment, Bai Qiuran's fingertips flicked his sword out of its sheath, ready to strike. "Everyone be careful. He's about to make a move on us. Ha ha. You dare to resist. Are you not satisfied until you see the word death? In the Shangshuan Kingdom, those who fight for power, that's their business. But for these bandits to be rampant here, it's a disaster for the innocent people. When encountering such people, a Qingming disciple must always eradicate them down to the roots." Just as Bai Qiuran was about to send these guys to meet the King of Hell, a shout echoed from a distance, "Stop for my sake." Everyone was startled and turned to look. "Where did you come from, brat? Don't meddle in our business." He had just finished speaking when he took a raging dragon kick and lost several teeth. Before the astonished eyes of the remaining men, he was kicked flying backwards. The leader quickly caught his underling, who was sent flying towards him. "Who are you? You dare to sneak attack my brother? Do you want to die? Insolent. In broad daylight, you dare to block the road and commit robbery right on the official path. You truly have no regard for the laws of the Shangshuan Kingdom. Boss, it hurts so much. He hit me so hard. There, I know, the law." "What law? To hell with the law. You should get with the times a bit. What law is there to speak of at this point? Brothers, let's go. This one's a fat sheep too." "Hey boss, wait a minute. You need to show some mercy with this fat sheep, huh? What's your business with him? This guy put on a shameless face, boss. We brothers haven't had any release all month because of No Nut November. This handsome fella is quite good looking. I think he's pretty sweet." "What the fuck? You even want to do a man? Why don't we rob them? Then go into the city and find a couple of whores. Wouldn't that be better? But we're wanted and can't get in." Hey, that's a good idea, isn't it? That white-haired kid isn't bad looking either. He looks quite tasty. Let's wait a bit and capture him to take back with us." Damn, these guys are really desperate. They don't even spare men. Bai Qiuran and the girl disguised as a boy were both speechless at these robbers. The leader was in a state of excitement, laughing heartily as he charged towards Bai Qiuran and the newcomer. Both Bai Qiuran and this girl could no longer tolerate these bandits. Especially Bai Qiuran, who had remained a virgin for 3,000 years, now encountered bandits who wanted to violate him. How could he endure this rage? This girl in disguise was the first to draw her sword. With one slash sword, chi flew from the blade. She was also at the chi refining stage, just like Bai Qiuran. The leader saw this and was startled with fear. A sword with true chi, but it was too late. He couldn't dodge, and with a silent cry of, "I'm in danger," he met his end. "Oh, so you're also at the chi refining stage like me? Like hell, we're the same. Who the hell has a heaven-defying chi refining stage like you?" The underlings behind them were also startled and cried out in fear. True Chi, he's a Chi, refining cultivator, run. Run now before things get worse. The four of them dropped their weapons and ran for their lives. This young lady, however, did not chase them to kill them all. She sheathed her sword and let the four men escape. Bai Qiuran quietly watched the four robbers run into the distance. From the very beginning, Bai Qiuran had no intention of sparing any of them. He immediately swung his sword. The terrifyingly sharp sword Qi chased after them. In just a moment, they were sliced in half by Bai Qiuran's sword. Qisom's surrounding trees were also accidentally cut down, falling to the ground with a crash. Thank you, brother, for your assistance. I still don't know your name. The brother in Bai Qiuran's eyes turned and glared at him. They were already running away. Why did you have to chase and kill them all? You let them go today, but tomorrow or later, they will forget their fear and continue to harm people. At that time, will they spare the innocent? Seeing that Bai Qiuran made a good point, she fell silent, looking at him for a long time without saying anything. Bai Qiuran sensed the tense atmosphere and clasped his hands in a bow, starting a conversation. I am Bai Qiuran. May I ask for the esteemed name of this brother? With your strength, you didn't need my help at all. I was the one who meddled in your affairs. No, strength is not important in my eyes. What's important is that this brother, though just a passerby, is very righteous. I should be the one to treat you to a drink. She was still angry at Bai Qiuran for chasing and killing them all, so she didn't answer. After a while, she finally answered, My name is Tang Wei. Well, brother Tang, do you know if there's a tavern nearby? I haven't even agreed to have a drink with you, and you're already asking if there's a tavern. Looking at the map, there's a small town over here. Tang Wei behind him was exasperated with Bai Qiuran. Wait a minute, I never agreed to have a drink with you. And yet in the end, the two of them entered a tavern, swoosh. Brother Tang, let me treat you to a drink. The two were now sitting in the tavern. Bai Qiuran drained his cup in one go, while Tang Wei closed her eyes and forced herself to finish it. For hundreds of years, he had been practicing alone on the mountain, not talking to anyone, so Bai Qiuran was in a very cheerful mood. Damn, this is spicy, so spicy. What's so easy to drink about this stuff? Why do all men like to drink this? Brother Tang, this is your first time far from home, right? You don't have to drink so much. The most important thing about drinking is the mood. Getting too drunk will only ruin things, and it's not good for your body either. On this point, Bai Qiuran was absolutely right. Pay attention, drinking should be done in moderation, especially when you're drunk, don't drive. Hearing Bai Qiuran say this, Tang Wei cursed silently in her heart. If that's the case, why the hell did you drag me here to drink? Tang Wei choked on the alcohol, coughed a few times, and said, If it weren't for you, brother Bai, I wouldn't even touch this stuff today. Bai Qiuran continued, Don't you feel that meeting a like-minded person and sharing a drink is a joyful thing to be savored? Time is very tight for me. I still have important business to attend to. I have important business too, and it's quite urgent. It also concerns my life, but over 1,000, he was about to say over 1,000 years. But Bai Qiuran immediately corrected himself. But recently I've come to a realization. The path of life doesn't need to be so rushed. Enjoying the delicacies of life is what makes it meaningful. So even if I'm in a hurry now, I'm not anxious at all. But inside, Bai Qiuran was laughing to himself. After all, the soul-reaping emissary can't beat me. Who could possibly take my life? Tang Wei cursed silently in her stomach. What urgent life and death matter? You don't look like you're in a hurry at all. Bai Qiuran continued to ramble on. This time I'm mainly going to pick some rather important medicinal herbs. The location is inside Mang Mountain in the center of the Shangshuan Kingdom. What a coincidence, the place I'm going to is also Mang Mountain. Oh, what perfect timing, we are truly fated to meet. Tang Wei suddenly looked at Bai Qiuran seriously and said, There's something I must remind you of. Recently, demons have been appearing in that mountain area, frequently devouring living people. Many nearby villagers have been killed by it, and even martial arts masters have suffered heavy casualties. Demons are rampant in Mang Mountain. The 9 provinces are under the jurisdiction of the Great Cultivation Sect, the Qingming Sword Sect. With demons causing such chaos in the world, why haven't they sought help from the Qingming Sword Sect? The Qingming Sword Sect. Mentioning the Qingming Sword Sect, Tang Wei became angry. Do you know why the Shangshuan Kingdom and its people are living in such dire straits right now? It's all because the Shangshuan Emperor and the other princes believe the state preceptor's temptations, single-mindedly seeking longevity and neglecting the country. And that state preceptor of the Shangshuan Kingdom was sent by the Qingming Sword Sect. Bai Qiuran was a little startled. Something like that happened, but he also thought to himself, I can't just take his word for it. It seems I should take a detour to the capital of the Shangshuan Kingdom to see for myself. Regardless of whether it's a disciple causing trouble outside or someone borrowing our name to deceive others, I cannot let my master's efforts be shamed. Bai Qiuran raised his wine cup again. Anyway, let's not talk about these headaches anymore. Brother Tang, if your destination is also Mang Mountain, then let's travel together as friends. It would be good to help each other out. What do you think? All right, then after we eat, we'll set off together. Hey, Brother Tang, wait for me. Bai Qiuran was now struggling with little Bai White because it kept running around east and west, refusing to listen to him. Hey, little Bai, this way. Good little horse, please listen to me for a bit. A peerless expert, yet so helpless against a horse. Tang Wei saw this and was speechless, having nothing more to say to this weirdo. Tang Wei sarcastically said to Bai Qiuran, Seeing you pull a horse out, I thought you knew how to ride. I didn't expect that with your high strength, you don't even know how to ride a horse. Before I always just walked when I went out. Tang Wei looked at Bai Qiuran with a confused expression. Huh. Then why did you buy a horse? Too much money and nowhere to spend it. Bai Qiuran was still struggling to pull the horse towards Mang Mountain. I was in a good mood, so I decided to buy a horse for a leisurely ride. Who knew horses were so hard to ride? Tang Wei sighed, watching Bai Qiuran struggle with the horse. I'm starting to regret agreeing to travel with you. I originally planned for a 3-day journey to get there. Who knew that traveling with you would drag it out to 5 days, and we're still not there? Hey, brother Tang, I'm really sorry. It's because I'm old, and then there's this horse. I'm really sorry. Really sorry. Tang Wei looked at Bai Qiuran's face silently, wondering, how old can he possibly be? Isn't he not much different from me? After looking at Bai Qiuran for a moment, Tang Wei reminded him, tonight when we reach the small town before Mang Mountain, you should take the horse to a shop and sell it. After all, you can't ride it. With your cultivation, wouldn't walking be much faster anyway? That sounds very convincing. Hurry up. It's getting dark. Hey, brother Tang, slow down a bit. Wait for me. Sigh. If we can make it to the Mang Mountain town before dark, we should really thank the heavens. And yet by evening, the two of them still managed to reach the Mang Mountain town. First, let's find an inn. I'll go and inquire about the demons in Mang Mountain. Okay, brother Tang. I'll order some wine and meat. Esteemed customer. You want to ask about the demon situation in Mang Mountain? Lately, that story is very well known. I heard that, in the nearby villages and towns, there have been murders. Those demons move extremely fast. Outsiders can only see a black shadow flash by. As for the victims, only a few mutilated body parts are left. It's extremely tragic. There have been groups of martial artists who gathered to fight them, but none of them ever returned. We can only hope that the immortals, the masters on the mountain, can do something about it. Otherwise, we won't last much longer. By then in this whole area, I'm afraid no one will dare to live here anymore. Tang Wei looked at the shopkeeper with a sharp gaze and said, we don't need them to act. We mortals can handle it ourselves. Young master, are you planning to go exterminate demons? The shopkeeper then pointed to a few people around and said, the demons out there are very dangerous. If you go alone, it's like suicide. You could negotiate with those martial artists over there. They travel the world for profit. If you, young master, offer a bit of money and add in the fame of being a great demon-slaying hero, they will agree to go with you. Tang Wei turned to look at the drunken martial artists who were dead drunk and laughing merrily and felt utterly dejected. Hiring this lot would just get us all killed. What's the use? So the government here hasn't announced a bounty for demon extermination. A bounty for what? Right now, His Majesty, the Shangshuan Emperor's life, is hanging by a thread. He has no time to care about small lives like ours. The government's money is all being used to make offerings for the state preceptor's pill refinement. They're too busy squeezing the common people dry. How could they spend money to hire people to fight demons? Sigh. We've long since lost all hope in the government of the Zhuan Kingdom. Having gathered some information, Tang Wei now wore an expression of indignation, angry at the ruling system of the Zhuan Kingdom. She returned to the table with Bai Qiuran. What's wrong, brother Tang? You don't look so good. Is that demonic beast very powerful? Very powerful. Bai Qiuran. Tomorrow, after I take you to the horse market to sell the horse, we'll go our separate ways. Why I want to go to Mang Mountain too? Because I have to take care of important business. You go on ahead. Bai Qiuran, listen to me. After you've picked your herbs, you should leave quickly. The demons in the mountains are extremely dangerous for martial arts masters like us. If you have no business with them, don't provoke them. It should be the other way around. Actually, Bai Qiuran is very dangerous to the demons in the mountains. Seeing Tang Wei advise him so carefully, Bai Qiuran could only mumble in agreement. If Brother Tang says so, then I have no other opinions. Brother Tang, it's been a pleasure to meet a friend like you on this trip. I'm very happy. After speaking, Bai Qiuran picked up 2 cups of wine, handing one to Tang Wei. Come on, Brother Tang, take it. Swoosh. I toast you, Brother Tang. I wish you smooth sailing, yes, and I wish you smooth sailing too. The two of them drank several liters of wine like that, only returning to their rooms to rest late at night. Early the next morning, Tang Wei took Bai Qiuran to sell the horse. Little bye-bye, my dear. See you again. Brother Tang, you really don't want to go up the mountain with me. I can't. I still have some business to take care of here first, Brother Tang. If we're fated to meet again, be careful on your journey. And so Bai Qiuran and Tang Wei went their separate ways. Bai Qiuran headed straight into the depths of Mang Mountain, while Tang Wei decided to stay and gather manpower, wanting to exterminate the demons to protect the people. After parting with Tang Wei, Bai Qiuran headed into Mang Mountain alone. Although rumors said the mountain was home to 4 vicious demons and many fierce wild beasts for Bai Qiuran, these were absolutely nothing to worry about. The ones who should be worried are these demons. If they were unlucky enough to meet Bai Qiuran, their fate was sealed. If a normal qi refining cultivator were to use a foundation establishment pill to break through, they probably wouldn't be able to withstand its medicinal power, and their body would directly explode and die. But Bai Qiuran's foundation establishment pill had long since transcended the normal pills of the cultivation world. Because it was enhanced with so many bootleg additions, it had completely changed, transforming into a demon-modified foundation establishment pill. Although Bai Qiuran was not at the foundation establishment stage, had no true essence, couldn't form a nascent soul, and couldn't let his primordial spirit leave his body in 3,000 years of continuous training, Bai Qiuran's spiritual sense had become absurdly powerful. His spiritual sense could even manifest attacks from thought alone, making it even more terrifying than that of a normal immortal. Furthermore, thanks to his terrifying spiritual sense, he even encountered a giant black snake about to become a demon deep in a ravine. This snake had eaten human flesh before and wanted to swallow him, but he killed it with one palm strike, conveniently obtaining a high-quality inner core. Haha, not bad. Just the right herb to increase the potency of my foundation establishment pill. Found it. This is the last herb for the foundation establishment pill. If my foundation establishment pill didn't require such obscure ingredients, which even the sect doesn't have in stock, I wouldn't have to run all the way to this mountain lake to pick herbs. Finally done. This time the ingredients for the foundation establishment pill are all gathered. I need to go find the ingredients for the longevity pill. Mentioning the longevity pill. Baichuran thought of Zhuiling and got angry. Why is it that other people after living for 3,000 years can jump out of the 5 elements and live a long, carefree life? I've lived for over 3,000 years, and every year I have to be missed by a soul-reaping emissary. It's truly unfair. You act as if everyone can become an immortal, living a carefree and long life. You just eat your longevity pills, which is no different from being immortal, except you can't fly on a sword well. I should still refine the longevity pills, otherwise I'll have to cause another ruckus in the underworld. Master is probably in the immortal realm now. I can't act rashly. If I happen to affect my master's future, it would be bad. Next, I should go collect the herbs for the longevity pill. Wait before I go. There's one thing I must take care of. Inside Mang Mountain, there are demons causing chaos, devouring living people. The disaster for the common folk is immense. As a member of the Qingming sword sect, no matter how others view the sect, I cannot just stand by and watch. Baichuran immediately used his terrifying spiritual sense to sweep across the entire Mang Mountain. His spiritual sense shot out just like that. Searching every nook and cranny of Mang Mountain, found it. The first time I caught it with my spiritual sense, I could tell this demon had just finished a hunt. It's on its way back to its lair, but it doesn't seem to match the rumors. They are not greedy at all. For several days, it has been waiting in its lair, digesting its prey first, and has not gone out to attack others again. Wait, what's this down here? It's a corpse by Baichuran. Now discovered many corpses deep beneath this demon's hiding place. I'm afraid there's something shady about this. But no need to rush. After I clean up these demons, I'll go out to the village and listen around, see if there are any more attacks or killings, and I can confirm it right away. But just then, Baichuran was startled to discover there was another person. Is he fighting a corpse demon? Judging by his aura, he's no match for it. Baichuran decided to conveniently go and save him. He stomped on the ground, and the earth beneath him shattered. Baichuran launched himself into the air, flying quickly towards the person who was fighting the corpse demon alone. Baichuran flew so fast that wherever he passed, dust and smoke billowed, and trees were pushed aside. Just a few seconds later, Baichuran had arrived at the cave with the corpse demon. Just like that, he used his head to crash straight through the roof of the cave and flew down. Crash, crash, crash. The roof of the cave was breached with a large hole. Baichuran fell down into the cave like that, with dust and debris flying everywhere. The dust settled, and Baichuran stared blankly into the cave. Here there were many corpses of the drunken heroes he had met in the tavern earlier. Oh, the bodies are still very fresh. Are these martial artists and the person inside part of the same group? These people look very familiar. It's only been a few days. It couldn't be him, could it? Tang Wei? Baichuran continued to run deeper into the cave. Finally he arrived. It is just as I thought. In front of Baichuran was Tang Wei, struggling to fight against 2 corpse demons. Tang Wei at this moment had not yet noticed Baichuran's presence behind her. Surrounding her were the many corpses of the martial artists she had invited. Tang Wei was now panting heavily from exhaustion. She couldn't hold on much longer. Tang Wei herself couldn't believe things had turned out this way. This time she ran away from home to prove to her father that mortals didn't need to rely on cultivators. They could protect themselves. Why must we always believe those immortals? So she decided to spend all her money on the journey, even selling off much of her jewelry, just to have enough funds to gather a group of martial arts masters to go and exterminate demons. She originally thought she could successfully exterminate the demons, but she never imagined that in the mountains there wasn't just one demon, as the villagers said, but they were all high-level chi-refining corpse demons. Am I going to die here? No. As long as I'm not down, there's still hope. She decided to risk her life against them. Just as she was about to jump up and slash each of them, 2 giant golden hands suddenly flew past her, striking the 2 advancing corpse demons. Just like that, these 2 corpse demons were sent flying backwards by the hands, screaming miserably. Immediately after, there was an earth-shattering explosion that directly killed these 2 corpse demons right in front of Tang Wei. Tang Wei, at this moment, still didn't understand what had happened. Baichuran suddenly appeared right next to Tang Wei. Brother Tang, we meet again. She was extremely surprised to see Baichuran here. Baichuran, why are you here? I came to eliminate evil for the people. More importantly, if I hear about demons harming people and don't enforce justice, my master would surely beat me to death if he found out. But for you to come here all alone is still too dangerous. As soon as she finished speaking, Tang Wei suddenly became terrified, her eyes widening as she looked behind Baichuran. Because behind Baichuran, a corpse demon was aggressively charging at them. Tang Wei fearfully shouted, "Be careful!" Baichuran didn't even bother to look his face indifferent, as he casually pointed a finger behind him, rainbow finger. A terrifying blast shot out from Baichuran's fingertip, flying towards the charging corpse demon. The result was obvious. It was blasted into bits and pieces. The rainbow finger directly pierced through the cave, shooting straight into outer space. So surreal. Is this really just chi refining stage cultivation? Tang Wei was endlessly terrified in her heart. Bai Qiuran, your strength is truly immeasurable. Bai Qiuran scratched his head with a troubled look and said, Brother Tang, we might have a little problem. What's wrong? Tang Wei asked with a worried expression. Was the backlash from that last move too great for your body? After all, you're at the chi refining stage. To unleash a move like that is too unbelievable. A backlash is to be expected. No, I'm actually more than powerful enough. That one move was nothing to me. It's just that after using that move, the recoil was quite significant. This floor probably can't hold up much longer. Looking down at Bai Qiuran's feet, the entire cave floor was covered in cracks. It seems there's another space below. This cave floor is about to collapse. Tang Wei cried out in fear. Damn it, this is too unreal. Bai Qiuran still managed to laugh and say, See, Brother Tang. I wasn't wrong, was I, Tang? Wei screamed in terror. Stop talking about whether you see it or not. Quick, give me a hand. I have no true chi over here. Bai Qiuran used his momentum to jump straight towards the terrified Tang Wei, who was trembling on a rock. At this moment, 2 corpse demons were charging towards Bai Qiuran. Bai Qiuran, with an indifferent expression, pointed 2 fingers again. Finger of death. Instantly, the 2 corpse demons were blasted to pieces. After dealing with the 2 corpse demons, Bai Qiuran turned back and caught Tang Wei holding her hand tightly. We're about to hit the ground. Hold on tight to me. Okay? Very good. The true chi has enveloped us, so we can land safely. It's just that there's no time to adjust our posture. The 2 of them fell straight down from above. They held each other tightly, rolling on the ground a few times before finally stopping. Ouch! Tang Wei cried out in pain as her head hit a rock, but just a moment later she was startled to discover his hand. His hand. She grabbed Bai Qiuran's hand, which was groping her chest. Bai Qiuran calmly asked, Brother Tang, are you hurt? Tang Wei blushed with embarrassment, her eyes dazed. She quickly pushed Bai Qiuran away and screamed. Bai Qiuran raised his hands and quickly said, It's good that you're okay. Brother Tang, don't misunderstand, I'm not interested in men. Tang Wei had a dazed expression. Are you kidding? He didn't notice. Bai Qiuran continued. Before I was worried if you, Brother Tang, were a woman disguised as a man. After all, some of your movements are indeed a bit feminine. But now I'm relieved. How could that be the case? Ha 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 ha, Bai. Qiuran continued to laugh cheerfully. After all, even with chest bindings, what kind of woman could train her chest to be that flat and hard? So Brother Tang must be a man. Tang Wei was completely petrified, damn it all. Nothing could be more infuriating right now. Although her true identity wasn't discovered by that Bai Qiuran, why did she feel so angry? Why do I feel so bitter? Bai Qiuran acted as if nothing had happened. Brother Tang, let's go. Tang Wei was furious, but couldn't say anything. She looked at Bai Qiuran with a pouty face. Go where? To deal with the main bodies of these demons? What do you mean? Weren't those corpse demons the real demons? That's not their main body. It's just one of the parts they created. Go a little further, and you'll see. The thing lying underground is its core. Look closely. Bai Qiuran raised the ball of light in his hand, and threw it high up. The light, like a miniature sun, spread out all around. So bright. The glare made Tang Wei cover her eyes, but at that moment she was stunned by what she saw in the distance. Tang Wei gasped in horror. What on earth is this? It's disgusting and nauseating. In front of Bai Qiuran and Tang Wei was a giant reddish monstrous beast with a disgusting format. Its feet were countless skeletons of dead bodies. Bai Qiuran explained, This is a type that originates from a female corpse, specializing in absorbing dense yin and resentment energy, then giving birth to ghouls. We usually call it a corpse mother. Considered a high-level corpse entity, but it's very strange. Only in cases of large-scale death can this type of monster appear. Why would this kind of monster be in this desolate and empty mountain forest? Tang Wei looked at the monster and cried out in fear. After a moment she thought, It seems to want to attack us. The corpse mother turned and saw Bai Qiuran and Tang Wei, its eyes suddenly turning fierce. Immediately, a small corpse demon emerged from its belly. The small demon was slowly pushed up from its stomach to its throat. Finally, it began to slowly emerge, head first from the corpse mother's mouth. The sight was disgusting and horrifying. It's recommended not to watch this while eating. The corpse demon fell from the corpse mother's mouth to the ground. Its body was slimy and disgusting. After a moment, it began to slowly get up, raised its head to look at Bai Qiuran and Tang Wei, then suddenly growled angrily at them. Bai Qiuran also felt disgusted seeing its appearance. It's both dirty and horrifying. This kind of monster, I really don't want to touch it. The corpse demon now began to charge frantically towards Bai Qiuran and Tang Wei. Bai Qiuran's face remained calm. He immediately shot out a palm strike central focus palm. The monster was instantly sent flying. Bai Qiuran's palm strike directly turned it into a pile of ashes. The corpse mother's body was also directly hit, pierced by Bai Qiuran's palm strike, leaving a large hole through it from front to back. Seeing it was in danger, the corpse mother continued to produce more corpse demons. Tang Wei's face was filled with fear. In just a moment, it's produced so many. The corpse mother was now continuously spitting out disgusting corpse demons from its mouth. Tang Wei felt even more terrified. Enough. Doesn't this corpse mother have a limit? Why does it give birth to so many? Bai Qiuran continued to explain. Normally for self-defense, a corpse mother can turn all the corpses within a certain range into corpse demons. Tang Wei asked worriedly. Then what should we do now? At this rate, will you have enough true chi? Asking if he has enough true chi is asking the wrong person. The one thing Bai Qiuran is not afraid of is running out of true chi. Bai Qiuran gave a cruel smile. No problem. We just need to destroy both the corpse demons and the corpse mother at the same time and it'll be over. At this moment, the last of the corpse demons finally moved, all of them charging towards Baikuran at once. Tang Wei watched the speed of the corpse demons with fear in her heart. So fast, compared to the previous ones, these must be much more formidable. Baikuran suddenly raised 2 fingers. Lightning immediately appeared from somewhere at the tip of her fingers and in Bai's eyes. Baikuran at this moment looked like an ancient thunder god, one-way lightning seal. Lightning erupted from Baikuran's body, shooting outwards, straight towards the corpse demons. Just a moment later, the terrifying lightning instantly tore apart all the corpse demons, charging at Baikuran, turning them to ash. The corpse mother's face was filled with terror. It had messed with the wrong person. But it couldn't run because its main body was fixed here. The terrifying lightning even broke through the cave and shot outside. Tang Wei was protected by Baikuran inside a shield. Just a moment later, everything had been completely wiped out. The entire cave became empty with the smell of burnt flesh lingering. Tang Wei gasped. Disgusting, so disgusting. Is it over just like that? Yes, it's over. The corpse mother has been destroyed by me. It won't be able to produce any more for a short time. But outside the cave entrance there are still 2 more corpse demons buried in the ground, which this beast used to prevent us from escaping. We can deal with them later when we go out. Tang Wei now clasped her hands to thank Baikuran. Thank you so much. If it weren't for you, I'm afraid I would have died here. It's nothing, just righting a wrong. Don't worry about it. But this corpse mother had long surpassed the scope of the chi refining stage, and yet you were still able to kill it so easily with one move. Tang Wei looked at Baikuran with a serious gaze. Who on earth are you? What if I told you I'm a cultivator from the Qingming sword sect? Hearing Baikuran say this, Tang Wei froze for 5 seconds. Then she burst out laughing. Baikuran didn't understand. What's wrong? You don't believe me. Tang Wei was still laughing heartily, waving her hand at Baikuran. I can tell, you like me are at the chi refining stage. In the eyes of us cultivators, that doesn't even count as a true cultivator. Someone at the chi refining stage, like you couldn't possibly be from the Qingming sword sect. Little did Tang Wei know that the person standing before her was the ancestor of the Qingming sword sect. At this moment, Baikuran's face suddenly darkened, his heart filled with indignation. You see, his biggest pet peeve is when someone dares to discuss his cultivation level right in front of him. Just a chi refining stage. Just a chi refining stage. Those words were like a demonic bell echoing endlessly in Baikuran's mind, becoming a relentless obsession that had plagued him for 3,000 long years. Rage boiled within Baikuran. He thought to himself, I tell you, and you still don't believe me, then why did you ask me? I'm the damn ancestor of the Qingming sword sect. Oh well, he told himself not to argue with a fool. Baikuran suppressed a sigh, swallowing his anger. Sigh, forget it. We shouldn't linger any longer. I need to get you out of here quickly. This place really reeks of death. It's incredibly unpleasant. Soon after Tang Wei was helped out of the dark cave entrance by Baikuran, Tang Wei let out a sigh of relief. It felt wonderful, like being reborn. Tang Wei quickly turned and asked Baikuran, hey, where are the 2 corpse monsters that were guarding the entrance earlier? Baikuran pointed ahead and answered, they're right in front in that pile of dry leaves deep in the forest. But then unexpectedly Baikuran seemed to notice something unusual. It seems someone is fighting those 2 corpse monsters. Judging by his technique, he's very much like a cultivator. Moreover, it looks like he's about to win. Huh. Where I don't see anything, follow me and you'll find out. Baikuran then held out his hand, gesturing for Tang Wei to take it. Tang Wei was a bit shy and didn't dare to hold his hand. She intentionally raised her hand a little higher so Baikuran could grab her wrist. The 2 held hands and ran off playfully. Arriving in a flash, at this moment in the distance, a person in purple robes was in a fierce battle with 2 corpse demons. These 2 corpse demons were continuously being injured by the person in purple. Their bodies were covered in gruesome, bloody wounds. Finally, this person unleashed a move, leaping into the air. Holding the flag high, he shouted, golden mechanism, flying electricity. The 7 stars give birth to white, round and round the mystical gate is born, vile creature, accept your death. As he finished, from his palms, 2 fiery 3-banner flames shot straight at the 2 corpse demons. As soon as the 2 fireballs touched the corpse demons' bodies, they exploded violently. A terrifying explosion occurred right before the eyes of Baikuran, and Tang Wei now recognized the identity of the person in purple. It was Sima Yingbo. Baikuran then sat down, looked at Tang Wei and asked, do you recognize this person? He is the official disciple of the current Shangshuan state preceptor. Tang Wei's eyes showed clear disdain as she looked towards Sima Yingbo. He's a damn cultivator. A cultivator with no morals whatsoever. At this moment, the 2 corpse demons were being burned by Sima Yingbo's flames. A moment later, both of them were burned to death, collapsing to the ground. Sima Yingbo panted with exhaustion, looking at the 2 corpse demons that had been burned to cinders. Sima Yingbo let out a breath, his eyes cautiously looking forward, because at this moment, he had spotted Baikuran and Brother Tang hiding behind a tree. Sima Yingbo looked towards the tree and said, Your Highness, the princess come out, I see you. Baikuran was stunned, bewildered. Princess, who are you calling little brother? Baikuran then turned to look at Tang Wei, his eyes full of doubt. As for Tang Wei, her eyebrows shot up, her eyes glaring angrily at Sima Yingbo. The word princess was still ringing in Baikuran's head. He looked at Tang Wei, still not understanding. But just a moment later, it finally dawned on Baikuran. Baikuran's eyes widened and his jaw dropped in astonishment. Nani, what? So, Brother Tang? You're really a princess, still calling her Brother Tang? Brother Tang's face darkened. She said nothing, silently cursing the annoying Bai Quran, ignoring Bai Quran who was still muttering behind her. How can that be? Your chest is probably even flatter and harder than mine. Brother Tang frowned, looking at Sima Yingbo, and coldly asking, Sima Yingbo, what are you doing here? Demons are rampant in Mang Mountain. As the highest-ranking official of the Shangshuan Kingdom, of course I want to come and exterminate demons and devils to ensure the people of my Shangshuan Kingdom can live safely in happiness. On the contrary, Your Highness the Princess, you ran away from the palace on your own disguised as a man. What would you do if you ran into trouble? This demonic beast is not something you can handle. If there were a few more, I'm afraid even I wouldn't be able to escape this place. Where I go is my freedom. I don't need you to ask, and I don't need to explain to you, but in half a month it will be the Zhuan Kingdom's heaven-worshipping grand ceremony. His Majesty has ordered us officials to go out and find the princess, and we must bring her back to the palace. Princess, please be considerate of your father, the emperor, and us servants. I will return, but not with you. Sima Yingbo glanced at Bai Quran with a puzzled look. It seems the princess has something to say to this righteous hero. Then I will not disturb you two. But princess, please remember to be mindful of your status. Tang Wei angrily turned her face away, huffing. I don't need you to remind me. Sima Yingbo turned to Bai Quran, clasped his hands in a bow, and said, My apologies. Her Highness the Princess is a bit stubborn. Please, righteous hero, don't mind her. It's all right. In that case, I will take my leave. Please take your time talking. After saying that, he flew off and disappeared. Bai Quran and Princess Tang stood in silence for a long time. Her Highness the Princess finally spoke first. Bai Quran, if you have any questions, just ask. Bai Quran's eyes scanned her from top to bottom, his gaze lingering on the princess's chest for a long, long time. Bai Quran, with a very serious expression, asked, Brother Tang, are you really a princess? What the fuck? The princess's face darkened, horrified, shy, ashamed, overjoyed, like mad. Shouldn't you have those kinds of expressions when you realize your companion is a woman disguised as a man? Why are you of all people still doubting its authenticity? Princess Tang puffed out her chest hands on her hips and replied, Of course it's real. But Bai Quran still couldn't believe it was true, because he had squeezed it before, and there was really nothing there. In the end, he had to set aside his doubts and accept this bitter truth. Bai Quran then changed the subject. About that master of Sima Yingbo, just now is he someone sent by the Qingming sword sect to the Shangshuan Kingdom? But looking at his techniques, not only do they lack the righteous qi of the Qingming arts, they even have a hint of demonic evil. How would I know those cultivators, besides coming down the mountain to take disciples, basically have no interaction with us? Everything we know about the Qingming sword sect comes from ancient texts. Then I'll find the answer myself. Brother Tang, I have just one more question. What is your real name? Tang Wei still tried to puff out her chest, acting feminine, and brushed her hair, replying, I am Tang Ruowei. Ruowei. That's a very nice name. Regardless of your gender, you are my friend. I befriended you, not because of your gender or status, but because of your courage when you drew your sword to help me in the future. If you encounter any difficulties, I, Bai Quran, will do my utmost to help. Ruowei asked in surprise. You found all the herbs. Aren't you going back? No. I've only found enough for one portion of the medicine. My great calamity is approaching. I need another portion of herbs from the outside to extend my life. Next, I also plan to head to the Zhuan Kingdom's capital. There are a few herbs I need to find there. Besides, I'm also somewhat interested in that state preceptor from the Qingming sword sect, so we're heading the same way again. In that case, let's switch things up this time. I invite you to travel with me as a friend. What do you say? Ruowei cheerfully extended her hand to invite Bai Quran. For a long stretch, no one spoke. Bai Quran and Tang Ruowei traveled together to the Shangshuan Kingdom, then parted ways. Bai Quran, however, went on his own, hiding within the cultivator market in the capital. Bai Quran was now in the Shangshuan Kingdom at the cultivator's market. Something must have happened. Bai Quran frowned, stroking his chin with a thoughtful expression. It's really puzzling. This is the last medicine shop, and I never expected all the materials I need to buy would be sold out. These obscure herbs besides me only. Only those demonic cultivators who pursue potent pills would buy them in large quantities. Could it be that there's a group of demonic cultivators gathered in the Shangshuan capital? Before leaving the mountain village, I heard something. While I was monitoring the corpse mother's lair, people nearby were still being harmed with large amounts of fresh blood being taken from the dead. Bai Quran then remembered Taoist Qingming's words. Quran, the day will come when I am no longer in this world. Protecting the righteous path will be your responsibility. I am a member of the Qingming sword sect. How can I just stand by and watch? At this moment, the scene shifts to a tavern somewhere in the Shangshuan Kingdom. Waiter, I'll take your highest room. The one buying the room was Bai Quran, esteemed customer. Your room is this way. All right, go get me a bottle of your finest wine. Bai Quran opened the door to his room, looking straight into the distance, where the Shangshuan Imperial Palace was located. All right, let's begin. His powerful spiritual sense immediately spread out, first to scout the Imperial Palace, especially that guy named Sima Yingbo. In the Imperial Palace, the Emperor was reading memorials, and Sima Yingbo was meditating. At this time, there was almost nothing suspicious. But then Bai Quran was startled. His spiritual sense had accidentally swept over Tang Ruowei, catching her in the act of stuffing 2 silicone pads into her chest. Ruowei confidently looked in the mirror, thinking, this size should be enough, right? What did Tang Ruowei just hide inside her chest? Could it be that the Shangshuan royal family's immortal resources have all been swindled by that demonic cultivator, so Tang Ruowei is secretly hiding dry rations there? Damn, that's a wild thought. All right, that's not the point. First I should look for some clues. Bai Qiuran continued to expand his spiritual sense. Searching for clues throughout the Shangshuan kingdom, many scenes from the Shangshuan kingdom appeared: an old man sitting and drinking, a dog barking woof woof. There was someone selling freshly baked peanut cakes, a butcher talking to someone, so much useless information. Bai Qiuran continued his search. At this moment, he saw two soldiers grabbing a child, the son of that woman. I beg you, Xiaolan is my whole life. Please spare him, I'll be your ox and horse, anything. This woman was trying to hold on to the soldier's arm. A few people nearby were gossiping about her. Sigh, she's really pitiful. So young and already has a child. And now her child is being taken by the government under the guise of taxes. Sigh, who told her to give birth to a daughter. I heard the money she earned before was all taken by her in-laws. In the end, even her room was taken by her brother-in-law. Now she can only live in this dilapidated house. So pitiful, life is so unfair. What's happening in this Shangshuan kingdom? They can't squeeze money out of the people, so they resort to kidnapping their daughters. Recently, many children have gone missing. It said they were all taken by the Qingming sword sect to be sacrificed to swords. I see, Xiaolan. If she's taken, I'm afraid mother and daughter will never see each other again in this life. Sigh, this Qingming sword sect. How is it like a righteous sect at all? What's the difference between them and the man-eating demons and ghosts outside? Hearing people talk about the Qingming sword sect like this, as the sect's ancestor Bai Qiuran truly couldn't stand it. Because the woman kept clinging to the soldier's arm and begging, he got annoyed and struck her with a sword in his hand, sending her tumbling onto the road. I beg you, please return my daughter to me. I really can't live without her. The little girl also cried incessantly for her mother. Mommy, save me. I don't want to go. I don't want to leave you, Mommy. Don't hit my mommy. The little girl cried pitifully when she saw her mother being hit. The two soldiers decisively picked up the child and turned to leave, despite the mother's incessant pleading. These two soldiers remained indifferent, pretending to be deaf and mute as they carried the child away. Suddenly from behind there was a loud thud. The two were surprised and turned around at the same time. The woman was now continuously banging her head on the road, creating thudding sounds as her head hit the stone pavement. Her forehead had started to bleed, the blood trickling down her nose along with her tears. Sirs, I beg you, please spare the two of us. This soldier was actually moved with compassion. I have no other choice either. If I don't bring her back, I'm afraid my own life won't be spared. Even if you kowtow, it's useless. We really have no other way. At this moment, Bai Qiuran suddenly appeared behind this soldier in the form of a child. He reached into the man's pants pocket, pulled out a steamed bun, and ate it like a hungry tiger. The man was startled and turned to look at Bai Qiuran in surprise. The other man's companion spotted it. He pointed at Bai Qiuran. That little brat stole your lunch. The man carrying the child was startled and felt his pocket. Bai Qiuran didn't care. They were still eating ravenously like hungry tigers. The other soldier, enraged, threw the child off his shoulder, grabbed Bai Qiuran by the collar and lifted him up. You little brat. You dare steal my rations? Bai Qiuran just kept eating and finally he was finished. He feigned a mischievous expression and said with a grin, I'm done eating. If you got the guts, hit me. You little brat. How can you be so arrogant? Hey look, I was a little careless and picked up a bag of money too. Damn it, that's my purse. When did you take it? Bai Qiuran then suddenly bit the thumb of the soldier who was holding him by the collar, making it bleed. The man screamed in pain. Bai Qiuran took that opportunity to escape, then turned back, stuck out his tongue and made a face to taunt them before finally running off, letting the two men chase him. The two soldiers immediately forgot about catching the child and chased after Bai Qiuran. You brat, don't run. Stop right there for me. The scene shifts back to the mother and child from before. The child is being held tightly in her mother's arms. The mother and child hugged each other, sobbing. Mommy, your head is bleeding. There, don't cry. It's okay. It's okay. It's just a surface wound. The child was now holding a bamboo tube, showing it to her mother. Mama, this bamboo tube suddenly appeared in my hand. I don't know what this is either. A bamboo tube. Let Mama see. On the bamboo tube were written the words, External Injury Pill, Qingming. The meaning is that the bamboo tube contains medicine for external injuries, and the one who helped the mother and child was from the Qingming sword sect, but it's unknown if the woman understood this. The scene shifts back to the tavern, to the room Bai Qiuran just bought. The waiter has now brought up the wine. Esteemed customer, your finest wine is here. The waiter was startled because he couldn't see Bai Qiuran anywhere. Huh. Where did he go? The scene shifts again to the imperial prison of the Shangshuan kingdom. Bai Qiuran had now been caught by the two soldiers and was locked in the main prison. I'm dead tired. This stinky little brat can really run. Haha, you couldn't bear to separate that mother and child. So you conveniently use this wandering little brat as a substitute, right? This is a good thing for us. We don't have to worry about losing our heads anymore. What's so good about it? I got bitten by him. You know, I don't even know if I got rabies. When will I ever be normal again? Bai Qiuran sat in his cell watching the two soldiers disappear and thought to himself, this demonic cultivator in the Shangshuan kingdom is really brazen, daring to tarnish the name of my Qingming sword sect. Those two guys said they're taking me to be sacrificed to a sword tomorrow. I, on the other hand, want to see who's spreading these baseless rumors. And I wonder if that mother and child understood the words I wrote on the bamboo tube. Should I sneak out now and explain it to them? No, that would be a bit embarrassing. It's all because of that kid Jue Yunzi being a crappy sect master. So many things are happening in the Shangshuan kingdom. He didn't help at all. I'll settle the score with him when I get back. It's a bit buggy in here, huh? Bai Qiuran casually pinched 2 mosquitoes. This rundown place has so many damn mosquitoes. Wait until the sword sacrifice begins tomorrow, then I'll know what's happening. For now, I'll just take a nap. The next morning, Bai Qiuran was still sleeping like a log, oblivious to the outside world, even when the 2 soldiers arrived. No matter how they called, he wouldn't wake up. Wake up, little brat. Why are you sleeping like the dead? How is this kid so heavy? These 2 had to carry Bai Qiuran out of the main prison and put him on a carriage to be taken to the imperial palace. Bai Qiuran was sleeping so soundly that even when he was taken off the carriage, he still didn't wake up. So they just dropped Bai Qiuran with a thud, his face hitting the tiled floor. Only then did Bai Qiuran finally wake up. Still sleepy, he squinted ahead, not yet realizing where he was. This is the Shangshuan Imperial Palace. Bai Qiuran was startled and thought to himself, I'm not dreaming, am I? In the Imperial Palace, a sword sacrifice. Just then, Sima Yingbo appeared. Why did you only bring 1? I'm very busy. Next time, gather a full group before coming. Attendant Sima is right. We will be more careful next time. Humph. Withdraw. Hearing the familiar voice. Bai Qiuran looked up. It's him again. Is this Ma Tu chasing Sima Yingbo really involved? Sima Yingbo glanced down coldly, looking at Bai Qiuran. This little brat, why does he feel like that white-haired demon who was with Princess Ruowei the other day? Bai Qiuran silently panicked. Oh no, he's not going to recognize me, is he? I have to act natural? Bai Qiuran scratched his head, forcing a heh laugh. Laughing so happily for no reason, probably just a dumb kid. His appearance, on the other hand, is quite refined. His aptitude doesn't seem bad either. Truly top-grade material master will definitely be pleased. Ignoring his suspicion, Sima Yingbo led Bai Qiuran away. Little brat, follow me. Okay, then I need to find a chance to investigate this Sima Yingbo. Bai Qiuran was then taken for a bath. 2 beautiful maids served him, and afterwards he was dressed in a completely new set of clothes. One of the maids said to Bai Qiuran, after everything is over, you can go home. Bai Qiuran smiled back. Okay, like a good clueless child. Bai Qiuran was then led by the maid to a room. In this room, there were many other children like Bai Qiuran who had been captured and brought here. They were playing carefree with each other, unaware of what was about to happen to them. A pink-haired child noticed Bai Qiuran's arrival. She happily ran towards him. Ooh, a newcomer. Come and introduce yourself. Bai Qiuran was immediately the center of attention for hundreds of children. There's a newcomer. Where are you from? My home is on the mountainside. The children now, all gathered around Bai Qiuran. Wow, your hair is white, the same color as my grandpa's. Let's go. Let's play together. Bai Qiuran quickly waved his hand in refusal. Hey, wait a minute. I'm not playing in the end. Bai Qiuran still had to play with them all day. Night came. Outside the room, 2 guards patrolled back and forth, continuously tired. I'm so tired. Pretending to be a child is exhausting. The red-haired child sleeping next to Bai Qiuran mumbled in her sleep. Grandpa, I want to eat fruit. Little Bai wants to eat too. Little Bai is a friend I just met today. Little Bai. Is she talking about me? But this was all too clear. They weren't using children to sacrifice to swords, but using virgin boys and girls to participate in the heaven-worshipping grand ceremony. If what these children heard was true, then that's still okay. But if it was a lie, then this is a huge problem. Virgin boys and girls are the favorite sacrifices for demonic cultivators. Whether for supplementing their power or feeding their souls, they are all good, especially for large-scale blood sacrifices. Furthermore, there's a rumor circulating in the capital that the Qingming sword sect wants to sacrifice swords. I'm afraid they're not trying to make the Qingming sword sect take all the blame, are they? Bai Qiuran used his spiritual sense to scan the imperial palace for anything unusual, deciding to check on Sima Yingbo first. That guy was still in his room. Damn. Turns out he's a pervert. The book he's reading is a review of women's chests from every country. Sima Yingbo had a lecherous expression, laughing gleefully as he read. I should probably go check somewhere else first. Bai Qiuran continued to scan other places with his spiritual sense. This time he found Tang Ruwei. She was inside the imperial palace, and from her demeanor she seemed very angry. Bai Qiuran's gaze once again focused on Ruowei's chest. The way her chest is puffed out like this, it's like she's using a body-refining divine ability to create it. Brother Tang really has a lot of tricks up his sleeve, always just staring at people's chests. Father, why do you want to perform the heaven-worshipping ceremony? And you even want to sacrifice 200 virgin boys and girls along with it? Our Shangshuan kingdom has never had such a rule. You're not listening to the state preceptor again, are you? Tang Ruowei angrily questioned the emperor of the Shangshuan kingdom, Tang Yongzheng. Tang Yongzheng's face was pale, his eyes lifeless as he looked at Tang Ruowei and said, Our Shangshuan kingdom has faced many natural disasters. The nation's fortune is blocked. Only by performing a sacrifice like this can we change and improve the nation's fortune. Father, you can't blame these things on the nation's fortune. It would be better to rely on our own efforts to govern and reform the country. Why are I called you here today for another matter? Since when did Father stop listening to my advice? Father, what did you want to see me about? Since the time we ascended to the Zhuan royal family. We have been trying to find a family with large breasts to marry into in an effort to reform the small-breasted genetic trait of our royal daughters. This is not only a humiliation for you, but for the entire royal family within the Shangshuan kingdom. Hearing her father mention this, Ruowei's face turned pale. She shyly covered her chest. Ah, no wonder Brother Tang no Tang. Ruowei's chest is so flat, it seems it's inherited from her ancestors. Wire, this time your father has found a very good husband for you. We have verified it. His body is extraordinary. His chest is for attacking, and his butt is for defending, and his clan has many well-endowed people. Perhaps he will help us complete the genetic modification of small breasts. The person I want to mention is my dear Sima. Ruowei cried out in shock. Sima Yingbo. That's right. Especially since he doesn't know your chest is fake, thinking you just use chest bindings on a normal day. From what I see of him, my dear Sima is also very pleased with Wire after all. I am also very pleased with him. Oh, so that pervert Sima Yingbo wants Tang Ruowei to marry him, but Tang Ruowei doesn't seem like someone who would compromise easily. Baiquran guessed correctly. Ruowei fiercely objected. Father, I will not marry him. The emperor frowned angrily and shouted. Unfilial daughter who doesn't know what's good for her. Guards, come and lock Tang Ruowei up for me. Wire, as a member of the royal family, you must make contributions for the royal family. You must understand this. Princess, we apologize. Wait. Ruowei's eyes suddenly welled up with tears. Father, I am very disappointed in you. But she didn't know that her father's mind was being controlled by someone else. These were not his words. Baiquran was still lying there listening to everything. Is it really necessary to make such a fuss for this kind of reason? To improve the family's breast size, you'd force your daughter to marry someone she doesn't love. In this era, does having big breasts mean you have power? It's always been that way. Big breasts mean you have all the power. Looks like I'm about to have another rescue mission. Baiquran then remembered Sima Yingbo and wanted to go back and see what he was doing, Where is he? Is he going out at this hour? Baiquran quickly searched all over the imperial palace, looking for where Sima Yingbo had gone. Finally, he found him. This Sima Yingbo. Why had he come to the Shangzhuan royal tomb at this hour? It seems there's a faint killing intent here. As expected, there's a problem with this place. Baiquran's ears suddenly caught the sound of footsteps outside the room. Opening the door, a maid was holding a lantern, shining it into the room to look at the children. Baiquran immediately closed his eyes and pretended to be asleep. It turned out this maid was just checking the number of people. After counting them all, she closed the door and left. Baiquran breathed a sigh of relief. So she was just checking the room. I thought someone had detected my spiritual scan. Baiquran once again expanded his spiritual sense towards the Shangzhuan royal tomb. But at this moment, there was no sign of Sima Yingbo. I'll forget it, I'll investigate myself tomorrow. Playing with those kids took up too much energy. It's even more exhausting than fighting demons. The next day was another day of Baiquran playing and laughing with the children all day. On the outside, Baiquran seemed to be having a lot of fun, but in reality, he was about to vomit Bloodcat's cradle jump rope hide and seek. He had to play all of it with the children. Finally, Baiquran managed to hold out until night. I've refined a fake body complete with breathing and a pulse. No one should be able to discover that I've snuck out. This is Baiquran's fake body sleeping and looking very realistic. Baiquran had now snuck out and was running quickly towards the Shangzhuan royal tomb. As he was running, Baiquran suddenly froze because he heard a group of soldiers behind him. Frantically searching for someone, was I discovered? Baiquran quickly hid behind a lamppost and peeked out. At this moment, several soldiers holding torches were running past in a hurry. Hurry up. If we find the princess, we get a bonus. If we don't, no food tomorrow. So they're not looking for me. Don't tell me Tang Ruowei wants Torin away from her marriage. After the soldiers left, Baiquran also quickly left. Where could Tang Ruowei have gone? Speak of the devil, and he shall appear. Tang Ruowei ran past, accidentally bumping into Baiquran. At this moment, the soldiers behind them had spotted the two. Found her, the princess is over there. Hurry up and surround her. There's that white-haired brat over there too. Ignore him. Just catch the princess. The two of them ended up running in the same direction. Just then, a rider appeared out of nowhere right in front of Baiquran. Baiquran's true Kai erupted, preparing to send this guy and his horse flying with one palm strike. But who would have thought Tang Ruowei jumped in, grabbing Baiquran and dodging? This was Tang Ruowei, afraid that Baiquran would be hit by the horse, so she decided to save him first instead of running away. Because she turned back to save Baiquran, Tang Ruowei was now surrounded. Princess. Tang Ruowei angrily shouted, "Don't you see there's a child here? What if he gets hurt?" "What now, princess? What are you talking about?" "We humbly invite your highness the princess to return to the palace." "Humph. You just wait, I'll settle the score with you later." Ruowei then turned to ask, "Hey little boy, are you hurt anywhere?" But Baiquran had vanished from her arms. Baiquran was now sitting in the distance, watching the frantic Tang Ruowei. Brother Tang no Ruowei is truly a kind person. If she hadn't stepped in to help, that rider would probably be dust by now. I'll go to the royal tomb to investigate first. As for Ruowei, I'll let her prepare for her marriage for now. The scene shifts to the Shangzhuan royal tomb. Baiquran has now entered the tomb and is searching around. Oh, found it. But which chamber is it? Here it is. This main gate looks quite heavy. I wonder how that Sima guy got in. Maybe there's another way. Forget it. I'll just go in and see Baiquran, then slid his hand underneath and slowly lifted the door. Oh, it's quite light. So damn light, it's because you're too strong. The door was gradually lifted by Baiquran. Inside it reeked of fresh blood. Baiquran went in just like that. The stone door without Baiquran's support crashed down, hitting the floor and sending dust flying. A ball of light appeared in Baiquran's hand, illuminating the entire room. The scene before him now astonished Baiquran. This is the blood revival formation. It's the blood god sect's blood revival formation. On the floor was a formation drawn with blood with a coffin in the center. The blood revival formation requires the essence, blood of a corpse mother to create its core, So that corpse mother on the mountain is also related to this. What exactly is the intention of this demonic cultivator in the Shangshuan kingdom? The blood god sect's blood revival formation can be used to revive a demonic cultivator from a state of suspended animation. So it's true that there really is a demonic cultivator hiding in the Shangshuan kingdom. Baiquran slowly approached the coffin in the center of the formation. He gently lifted the lid of the coffin with one hand, but inside it was completely empty. Baiquran immediately used his spiritual sense to scan the entire room. As expected, there's another formation carved under the ground. As expected, this demonic cultivator wants to sacrifice those 200 virgin boys and girls to increase his cultivation. Thinking of the children who had just been playing happily with him this morning, Baiquran became even angrier. He stomped his foot hard on the ground, shattering the floor. The entire tomb shook violently. What was that? An earthquake. After his fit of anger, Baiquran lifted the coffin lid, put it back in place, and prepared to leave. The palace maid said the heaven-worshipping grand ceremony is the day after tomorrow. I, on the other hand, want to see who this demonic cultivator really is. After returning the next day, Brother Bai joined the sacrificial children for another happy day. The following day was the Shangshuan Kingdom's heaven-worshipping grand ceremony. Finally, the day of the Shangshuan Kingdom's heaven-worshipping grand ceremony had arrived. Our Shangshuan Kingdom, since its founding, has a history of 200 years. May the spirit of the first emperor in heaven protect our Shangshuan Kingdom, bringing prosperity to our nation until this very day. Now, with demons causing chaos in the Shangshuan Kingdom and the people suffering, I, as the emperor, see the people as my own children. Seeing the people being harmed and devoured by monsters day after day, my heart is filled with indescribable sorrow. Therefore today, I have decided to ascend the sacrificial altar. May the spirits of the first emperors in heaven bless our Shangshuan Kingdom for 1,000 autumns and 10,000 years, for 100 generations of prosperity. The emperor lit 3 incense sticks to worship his ancestors. The heaven-worshipping ceremony now begins, I declare. Soldiers take the blood of 200 virgin boys and girls to invite the ancestors to descend, use living blood to comfort the spirits of our ancestors. Hearing these words from her father, Ruowai gasped in shock. What? At this moment, the state preceptor also clasped his hands in a bow and said, A body for 1,000 autumns, we humbly invite the ancestors to descend. Wait, Father State. Preceptor. What are you talking about? What is happening? Your Highness the Princess, please be calm and do not worry. The heaven-worshipping grand ceremony is about to begin. Please meet our ancestor once. Ruowei continued to seek help from others. General Zhao, you must go and stop Sima Yingbo. But General Zhao's eyes were lifeless. He didn't seem to hear anything at all. The sky was now covered with dark clouds over the Shangshuan Imperial Palace, and thunder and lightning raged. Sima Yingbo slowly walked towards the incense burner. Stopping right in front of the incense burner, Sima Yingbo clasped his hands, bowed respectfully, and said, Master, everyone along with this disciple humbly invites Master to descend. We humbly invite Master to descend. Except for Ruowei and the children, everyone else bowed with clasped hands and said, We humbly invite Master to descend. The sky above the royal tomb was covered with dark clouds, and lightning continuously struck down. Ruowei, witnessing this scene, was also agape with shock. Baiquran, his face unchanging, still stood there indifferently observing everything. The children around were now terrified, all of them crying loudly. A bolt of lightning suddenly struck down from the sky onto the royal tomb, shattering its peak. Sima Yingbo and the other officials kept their eyes tightly shut, respectfully, bowing and waiting for that demonic cultivator to appear. The emperor and the state preceptor looked towards the royal tomb with great excitement. At this moment, from inside the tomb, a loud laugh erupted. Ha 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 ha! From the tomb emerged a red-haired, red-robed, red-faced man. His entire body exuded an endless killing intent, and the stench of blood. Shangshuan, I have returned. This person was Emperor Wu Tang Zhuozuo, the ancestor of Tang Ruowei. Baiquran had been waiting for a while. Finally, the final boss appeared. So it was you. We welcome the ancestors' descent. So it was you. We welcome the ancestors' descent. You are the true ancestor, Emperor Wu Tang Fengshi. That's right, my child. Are you happy to see me? Happy? Of course I'm happy. I finally caught you. You evil heretic! You dare to frame my Qingming sword sect! I'm hungry. Where is the blood food I told you to find? It's all prepared. Everything is here. After speaking, Sima Yingbo pointed towards the children in the courtyard. You've done well. Let's begin. For my blood, bring the blood here. Sima Yingbo immediately shouted, Bring the blood food. The soldiers immediately drew their swords. All of these men had their minds controlled. The children had swords held to their necks. They were all crying in fear. Wah! I want to go home, uncle. I was wrong. I won't steal food anymore. Humph. Saving all these children in an instant is no problem. But this little demonic cultivator, why is he using such an inefficient method? While lost in thought, Baiquran suddenly heard a voice calling Little Bai from behind him. Little Bai, don't be afraid, I'll protect you. Wah! The cute pink-haired girl whimpered. Though scared, she was still worried about Little Bai. Grow up quickly. Little Bai, wait, hehe. Just then, from a distance, Ruowei's shout of wait echoed, startling Baiquran and making him turn around. True ancestor, you are the Shangshuan first emperor. Why do you want to kill the people of Shangshuan? Did you get my father's permission to do this? Humph. He is my descendant. Do I need his permission to do things? I am the emperor. They are the common folk. Of course, the people bow to their ruler. To die for me is an honor, to become my blood food, to help me increase my cultivation. That is their honor, Roe glared at Emperor Wu with indignation and said, "Are you really the first emperor of our Shangshuan kingdom? As a king, how could you say such things?" Emperor Wu angrily glared at Tang Ruwei. "If I'm not, then what are you? Everything you have was given by me. You should know your place." As he finished speaking, he slapped Ruwei with heavenly force, sending her flying, crashing into the soulless General Zhao. Sima Yingbo looked towards Ruwei in fear. Luckily, Ruwei was fine. She struggled to sit up. During my reign, I expanded the Zhuan territory, increasing the kingdom's land by 2/3, but I felt it was still not enough. What I wanted was the world. All living things had to submit at my feet. The wars never stopped. But the more I fought, the more I realized that mortals have limits even if I unified the 9 provinces. Even if I unified the mortal world of the 9 provinces and 10 lands, there was still a group of people high above me. Even with my large army, sharp blades, and thick armor, I couldn't defeat them. These immortals could come and go as they pleased, and a single casual sword strike was enough to pulverize us. I don't want that. As a member of the royal family, I am more outstanding than others. My will is to trample on the heads of others. What are you trying to say? I'm saying that from today onwards I will have endless life. I'm about to become the lord of this world because of this. I stopped being human long ago. He suddenly roared, making his move. The soldiers prepared to strike. These men, their minds controlled, showed no emotion. The children screamed in terror. Just then, Ruwei unexpectedly drew the emperor's royal sword. She launched herself into the air, slashing out several streams of sword chi straight at the soldiers. "Stop for my sake, the sword." Chi flew and instantly struck the sword-wielding arms of the men, making them fall backwards in pain. She then landed lightly, but Ruwei suddenly sensed killing intent from behind. She immediately turned and blocked with her sword. She didn't understand why the generals were attacking her generals. "What are you doing?" She was now being surrounded by 3 men. "Emperor." Wu snorted coldly. "Quite a temper, aren't you? Master, Her Highness the Princess is young and full of vigor. She is your descendant after all. Please hand her over to me, Yingbo, if you want beautiful women. Whether in this country or the entire cultivation world, as long as you become strong, will you ever lack them?" In the future, Sima Yingbo was initially hesitant, but just a few seconds later, he had completely changed. A lecherous and evil expression appeared on his face. "Yes, thank you, Master." Ruwei, now fighting 3 against 1, was of course no match. She was continuously hit, and her sword was knocked from her hand. She was completely suppressed, forced to her knees on the ground. "Your Highness the Princess, big breasts are the truth, what a girl should have. Besides, after His Majesty the true ancestor improves his strength, it will be a good thing for the Shangshuan kingdom. You shouldn't resist anymore. Sima Yingbo, I am not like you." Ruwei glared at Sima Yingbo with indignation and said, "You evil heretic, sooner or later you will meet your end." "Good, well," said Bai Qiuran, still hadn't made a move, continuing to observe the situation. "Yingbo, you are about to reach Foundation establishment. After you do, you can officially begin cultivating my blood god immortal battle art. This rebellious girl, you can just eat her. Drink her blood too. It will be very beneficial for your Foundation establishment." As soon as Emperor Wu finished speaking, a ground-shaking sound echoed bullshit. It caused the tomb to shake and collapse even further. Where did that sound come from? Sima Yingbo fearfully looked around. "Someone's here. Show yourself." Bai Qiuran finally made his move. Giant true ki erupted outwards, enveloping all the children, directly attacking the soldiers and sending them flying. The children had been put into a deep sleep by Bai Qiuran because he didn't want them to see what was coming next. The 2 generals who were controlling and holding Ruwei were also directly knocked unconscious and fell to the ground. Emperor Wu witnessed this and cried out in fear. What the hell is that?" Bai Qiuran slowly walked forward, his body also beginning to grow back to its original size. Finally returning to his normal form, Ruwei was the first to be terrified when she saw Bai Qiuran. "Bai Qiuran, why are you here?" "Of course I came to eliminate evil and protect the righteous path. I discovered this little demonic cultivator. He's especially shameless with his words." Bai Qiuran pointed at Emperor Wu and cursed him out. "Cultivating a body through evil and heretical means, and with an incomplete, flawed cultivation art at that. And now you're here, pontificating and teaching others. Do you know how hard it is to reach Foundation establishment? Don't look down on Foundation establishment, you asshole." Why was Bai Qiuran so angry? Because he heard Emperor Wu talking to Sima Yingbo about how eating people and drinking blood would make Foundation establishment easy. I haven't reached Foundation establishment in 3,000 years, and he's talking about it like it's a bunch of vegetables at the market. How can I not be angry? Absurd. I am now at the Foundation establishment stage. Why can't I teach others to reach it? So what if you're at the Foundation establishment stage? You don't understand anything about Foundation establishment. Bai Qiuran continued his tirade. Looking at your setup, you think you can use this blood to charge up to the golden core stage, but the flaws are really too numerous. A righteous cultivator like me can't stand it. The formation based on the subtle conditions of heaven and earth. I don't understand how, and you dare to say you understand. Foundation establishment. The only reason you could reach Foundation establishment is by stepping in dog shit and having good luck. Emperor Wu's face contorted because he knew Bai Qiuran's words were true and couldn't argue. At this moment, Sima Yingbo leaned in and whispered in Emperor Wu's ear, "Master, he is just a chi refining stage cultivator." Emperor Wu was startled to realize that the person standing before him was only a chi refining stage cultivator. Emperor Wu's face darkened. He covered his face with his hand and laughed like a madman. Chi refining stage. Ha 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 ha. After being cursed out by Bai Qiuran, He could only keep his mouth shut and listen. Now he finally had a chance to curse back Emperor Wu, laughed gleefully at Bai Qiuran and said, I think you're the shameless liar. You're just a chi refining stage cultivator, while I am just one step away from forming a golden core. I am not only a foundation establishment cultivator, I am also the Shangshuan Emperor. With just one command I can have your head separated from your body. A worthless chi. Refining stage brat dares to lecture me. Bai Qiuran glared at Emperor Wu with wide eyes. What, just a chi refining stage cultivator? Emperor Wu laughed gleefully and ordered, seize this chi refining brat for me. The soldiers immediately surrounded Bai Qiuran and Ruowei. Ruowei quickly picked up the sword from the ground, preparing to fight to the death. She then turned and scolded Bai Qiuran. You fool, even when eliminating evil and protecting the righteous path, you have to consider your own strength. This is the Shangshuan kingdom. There are thousands of corpse soldiers and 16 chi, refining stage attendants, each of them a master at the mid-chi, refining stage or higher. So what, they're still just ants? Bai Qiuran slowly drew his sword, and an endless stream of true chi erupted from his body. Third Army, hear my command, seize him for me. 3,000 soldiers thundered forward, surrounding Bai Qiuran and Tang Ruowei. Bai Qiuran still smiled. Although I, Bai Qiuran, am only at the chi refining stage, I still have a sword in my hand, Emperor. Wu immediately gave the order, kill 3,000 corpse soldiers aggressively thrust their weapons at Bai Qiuran. Bai Qiuran's face was indifferent as he raised his hand, preparing to swing his sword, one sword to level heaven and earth. An endless, terrifying sword intent erupted. Emperor Wu cried out in shock and fear, Nani! The surrounding 3,000 corpse soldiers were sliced in half by this one sword strike. The terrifying sword chi spread out like a tornado, throwing everything up into the sky. Everything was swept up into the sky. The children were all protected by Bai Qiuran's true chi, preventing any harm from coming to them. They were still sleeping soundly. The sword chi formed a tornado, sweeping all 3,000 corpse soldiers up into the air. It tore a hole, causing the dark clouds to disperse and the sun to gradually appear. Ruowei was also protected by Bai Qiuran's true chi and was not affected. The tornado dissipated, and all 3,000 corpse soldiers rained down from the sky. The entire army was wiped out, while the children were still sleeping safely in the middle of the courtyard. Ruowei now remembered Bai Qiuran's earlier words. What if I told you I'm a cultivator from the Qingming sword sect? Finally, she also wondered, could it be that Bai Qiuran is really from the Qingming sword sect? Emperor Wu and Sima Yingbo stood to one side, looking down in fear. Are you kidding me? This is a chi refining stage. That was several thousand corpse soldiers, and he wiped them out with just one move. So surreal. Emperor Wu tried to calm himself. Calm down, he knows a lot. His background is probably not simple. Knowing a few tricks is normal. What the hell? A move like that and you call it a few tricks, that's too optimistic. But in the end, chi refining is still just chi refining. That last sword strike must have used up a lot of his energy. Besides, look, his weapon is already broken. At this moment, the blade of the sword in Bai Qiuran's hand had completely melted, leaving only the hilt in his hand. Indeed, he only has a hilt left in his hand. But why do I always feel so scared? Sima Yingbo looked at Bai Qiuran, a feeling of fear growing in his heart. Bai Qiuran snorted coldly and threw the hilt to the ground. Before the hilt hit the ground, Bai Qiuran had disappeared. 1,000 question marks popped up in Sima Yingbo's head. What the hell just happened? Where did he go? Before he could react, Bai Qiuran had appeared right in front of him, 2 fingers thrusting straight towards Sima Yingbo's heart. Behind him, the hilt finally fell to the ground with a clang. Emperor Wu cried out in shock and fear. What? Only then did Sima Yingbo react. His eyes rolled back, a vein popping on his forehead. His mouth hung open, an indescribable pain spreading through him. He couldn't hold on any longer, gradually collapsing, trying to cling to Bai Qiuran's body. Bai Qiuran still stood there, coldly looking at Sima Yingbo. Yingbo's face was contorted, veins popping all over, saliva dripped from his mouth, and his bloodshot eyes pleaded with Bai Qiuran. Bye, brother. Bai, save me. Save me. I had no choice either. I know. But you chose to submit. Sima Yingbo's eyes and nose were now bleeding. His eyes rolled back, and he was foaming at the mouth. He looked indescribably pitiful, still trying to speak. Ha, Bai. Finally, he stopped breathing, collapsed, and died with his face on the ground. Emperor Wu cried out in fear. What the hell was that? Bai Qiuran then turned to speak to Emperor Wu. You're very familiar with the blood god sect's blood condensation art, aren't you? You're only at the chi refining stage. How much true chi do you have left? You guess. After all, I'm only at the chi refining stage, not at foundation establishment. Like you. Bai Qiuran and Emperor Wu stared at each other for a long time. One stood calmly, while the other was sweating bullets trying to figure out his next move. Suddenly, Emperor Wu moved. From his mouth shot a divine blood, heavenly killing strike flying straight at Bai Qiuran. Bai Qiuran stood there unconcerned, even smirking contemptuously. Just a few cheap sneak attacks. He easily caught it with one hand, not even blinking, his expression disdainful, as if watching a novice show off in front of a master. Bai Qiuran held out his hand, revealing the 3 crushed red arrows. Is this your killing move? Emperor Wu, with sweat beading on his forehead, cursed silently. What the hell is this, a chi refining stage? A sneak attack from a foundation establishment cultivator like me? Couldn't even kill him. Emperor Wu wanted to try another sneak attack, not giving up. The hand hidden behind his back moved its fingers, and the 2 flags on Sima Yingbo's back immediately stirred, slowly moving out. Then they shot straight at Bai Quran blood banner. A raging hot flame stabbed towards Bai Quran's back. Emperor Wu, with a smug expression, I've totally won. Only then did Bai Quran move. He suddenly turned his head, and from his mouth shot a flame that directly clashed with the blood banner, instantly extinguishing its fire. Bai Quran casually caught the two banners in his hand, his face unchanging as he looked at Emperor Wu, then calmly tore the flags right in front of him. Have you ever heard of the Blood God sect's secret martial art, the 10,000 dried blood soul severance? Damn it! What the hell is the 10,000 dried blood soul severance? Are you kidding me? This guy is not at the chi refining stage. I have to run. Emperor Wu laughed loudly, his body erupting with fresh blood. If I can't beat you, I'll run. What can you do to me? Surprisingly, Bai Quran still managed to grab Emperor Wu's arm and pull him back. Trying to run? Fellow Taoist, I don't think we need to be so tense about this. Bai Quran then gave a cruel smile, immediately after his hand swung out, delivering 10,000 palm strikes towards Emperor Wu's body. I'm so fucked. It's the 10,000 knots blood soul severance. Before he could react, Emperor Wu screamed miserably. He was beaten brutally by Bai Quran, all the weak points on his body being hit repeatedly. Nothing could describe the pain Emperor Wu was feeling. Bai Quran tortured him for a long, long time. A moment later, Emperor Wu's body appeared, his clothes torn, his body covered in bruises, and countless wounds looking extremely pathetic. Bai Quran directly grabbed his head, delivered another blow, and slammed him down, causing his head to hit the tiled floor. Fresh blood splattering everywhere. Emperor Wu directly ascended to heaven. In reality, he had just been revived. Before he could even breathe the air or eat anything, he had become a hungry ghost. Eradicate them down to the roots. I'll just eradicate them down to the roots. Bai Quran pointed at the unlucky Emperor Wu and turned to Tang Ruowei. He was the one who attacked first. I was just defending myself. Ruowei's face was still filled with terror from witnessing Bai Quran's power. I know, Bai Quran. Thank you. Tang Ruowei's father now slowly sat up. My head hurts so much, father. Are you all right? The state preceptor on this side had also woken up. Where is this? Who am I? Your father was only being controlled by Tang Feng. Now that the control is gone, there's nothing wrong anymore. Luckily, he wasn't like those other soldiers who were modified by Tang Feng, lost their minds, and became corpse soldiers. So that's how it is. After speaking, Bai Quran turned and walked towards the tomb. Seeing Bai Quran turn to leave, Ruowei quickly called out, Bai Quran, where are you going? We haven't even treated you yet. Bai Quran looked towards the royal tomb with a heavy expression. He sighed. I have to go and guide the souls of the unjustly dead in there. Bai Quran's hands formed a seal, earth escape, and his whole body slowly sank downwards. In just a moment, he had fallen into the basement below the royal tomb. As expected, there are many vengeful souls bound here by the Great Formation, unable to enter reincarnation first to break this Great Formation. This is too easy. Second is to guide the souls. For this, I'll have to use special measures. Supreme 9. Orders guide the lonely female souls, escape the sea of suffering, be reincarnated as humans. As soon as he finished speaking, a golden flame immediately appeared in Bai Quran's hand. With a gentle snap of his fingers, the Great Formation trapping these vengeful souls automatically shattered. The formation is broken. Next up is the demonic soul guiding art. As soon as Bai Quran finished speaking, someone appeared behind him. It was none other than his old friend Zhui Ling. Bai Quran, you summoned me with your magic. What's the matter? Are you tired of living? Do you want to go down to hell and play with me? No way, these souls are your job. Did you do all this? So many in the Book of Life and Death, and their lifespans aren't even up. This was the work of a demonic cultivator, killing people and taking their blood for their lonely souls. Only they would do that. I am a member of the Qingming sword sect. How could I do such things? But that demonic cultivator, I accidentally beat him until his soul scattered. It saves you the trouble of looking for him. Shilling snorted coldly, looking at Bai Quran with no expression. He then swung the chain in his hand, capturing and tightly binding all the lonely souls inside. Bai Quran with a thick face said from behind, Hey, this time I was kind enough to help you guys. Shouldn't you give me some merit points for it? Merit points, my ass. You're thinking way too much. How long have you been evading your fate? And you still think you can use merit points to change the subject? Haha, I knew it after all. If you owe a lot, there's no pressure. That's why I'm not afraid. Shilling didn't bother arguing with Bai Quran and led the vengeful souls away. But just as he was about to enter the gate, Shilling suddenly stopped. Hey Bai Quran, what were you saying to me? Forget it, it's nothing. Shilling just left it hanging and disappeared. Damn it, if you have something to say, just say it. Who can stand being left hanging like that? Just as Bai Quran turned to leave, Shilling's voice echoed from within. Bai Quran, remember this well, my target is you. Are you mentally ill? Bai Quran cursed back in frustration. After dealing with Shilling, Bai Quran walked out of the tomb. Surprised to see Tang Ruowei's father and the state preceptor still standing there waiting for him. Immortal Elder, thank you for your help this time. On behalf of the millions of people of the Shangshuan Kingdom, I thank you for your grace. Well, it's nothing. You guys can take your time playing. I have to go now. Immortal Elder. At least you should let us repay you with something, right? No need. You can't give me what I want. Anyway. But State Preceptor over there, I have a little something I'd like to ask you. The State Preceptor stared at Bai Quran in surprise. Scene changed to the State Preceptor's residence. Is this the relic of the Qingming sword sect disciple, who once taught you the cultivation technique? That's right. I was originally just a farmer in the Shangshuan Kingdom, because I gave shelter to the Immortal Master. For a night, I was gifted with a cultivation technique, But the immortal master's injuries were too severe. I couldn't save him. It's not your fault. This is just the way of cultivators. Life and death are very normal. This jade piece is proof of my identity. As a disciple of the Qingming sword sect. The owner of this jade piece is an inner disciple of the Qingming sword sect. He died fighting a demonic cultivator to save the common people. The sect will be proud of him. I will take this jade piece. The cultivation technique he taught you is the orthodox technique of my Qingming sword. Secti wish you well in your cultivation. With your aptitude, it's possible you could reach the golden core stage before you pass on. I will remember this, but I heard that you incited the Shangshuan emperor to heavily tax the people of the Shangshuan kingdom, and you also collected heavenly treasures to refine pills. Is this true? Hearing Bai Qiuran mention this, the state preceptor was startled, his forehead breaking out in sweat as he stammered, That's right. What kind of pill are you refining? The state preceptor looked at Bai Qiuran for a long time, but still couldn't remember what kind of pill he was refining. Bai Qiuran immediately stood up, his hand flashing as he slapped the state preceptor across the face repeatedly. Hey now! You were hit by an evil spell, a demonic seed in your Dao heart, which is why your memories are a mess. I just broke it. Are you awake? If not, I'll give you a few more slaps. My hand is itching anyway. This demonic heart seed is a high-level spiritual spell of demonic cultivators created 2,000 years ago by the Yinling, venerate a brilliant and stunning old demonic ancestor. Unlike other spells that use cultivation and powerful spiritual sense to suppress consciousness and control others, this spell is different. This spell forcibly controls the practitioner's consciousness and at the same time unconsciously changes the practitioner's beliefs. It guides them step by step to complete the tasks the spellcaster wants them to do. In the past, that old demonic ancestor used this move to lead many cultivators stuck at a bottleneck to fall into the demonic path. In a short time, his fame in the demonic cultivation world became immense. Then he heard that in the Qingming sword sect, there was a direct disciple of immortal Qingming stuck at the qi refining bottleneck for over 1,000 years. And then what then? Of course, he was killed by Bai Qiuran. Returning to the present, how are you? Are you sober now? I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have squeezed the sweat and tears of the people to refine pills. That's not the issue. What kind of pill did you refine for Tang Zhuozuo? What pill? Oh right, cultivation pills. But I've never studied it, never even seen it. How could I refine this kind of pill? Where are the pills you refined? Show them to me. The state preceptor held out a handful of pills to Bai Qiuran. These are aphrodisiac pills. It seems Tang Zhuozuo had to wait a long time in the gloomy royal tomb. His kidney qi is a bit weak. What a waste of materials to refine this stuff. It's exactly the materials I'm missing. All right. I have to go back now. You've cultivated the Qingming sword sect's technique, so you're considered one of us. So I'll take you in as a registered disciple in his stead. You must remember to obediently assist the Shangshuan emperor, support the righteous path, and help the common people to prevent you from being controlled by others again. I will teach you a portion of the Qingming divine scrying art. In the future, practice a little more and it will strengthen your primordial spirit so you won't be easily manipulated by outsiders anymore. Thank you, master. After teaching the cultivation technique, Bai Qiuran bought another horse and left the Shangshuan kingdom. It was little Bai again. Bai Qiuran was now outside the official road of the Shangshuan kingdom, riding his horse, leisurely feeling as if he had forgotten something. Indeed, old age and a bad memory go hand in hand. Forget it, back to the mountain. Bai Qiuran still struggled with the horse all day. Why is riding a horse so hard? I couldn't ride it last time and I still insisted on buying another one. Bai Qiuran rode off into the distance and someone followed behind him. It was Tang Ruowei. Today, Ruowei confidently showed her gender stuffing 2 giant silicone pads in and following Bai Qiuran. She watched Bai Qiuran struggling with the horse up ahead. He doesn't even know how to ride, and he still buys a horse to ride. This person is truly unbelievable, but I never thought that in the cultivation world there would still be a good person like you. But behind Tang Ruowei, there was another person. This person was Xueling speaking, of which Bai Qiuran's original 2 goals for coming down the mountain were first, to find ingredients to refine foundation establishment pills, and the second main thing was to find ingredients to refine longevity pills to extend his lifespan, because before, Xueling had already informed Bai Qiuran once that his lifespan was about to run out. That's why Bai Qiuran decided to go down the mountain. But because he was busy dealing with the demonic cultivator of the Shangshuan kingdom, he forgot about the longevity pills. And today is the day Bai Qiuran's lifespan runs out. Bai Qiuran, we'll meet again, very soon. Why do I feel a chill all over? Bai Qiuran up ahead also sensed something was wrong and immediately turned to look back. Oh, it's my old friend Xueling, Soul Emissary Xue. What brings you here to find me today? Bai Qiuran, have you forgotten something? Xueling reminded Bai Qiuran. Besides finding a way to reach foundation establishment, what other purpose did you have for coming down the mountain this time? Bai Qiuran still didn't understand what Xueling was trying to say. What are you talking about? Besides breaking through to foundation establishment, what other purpose do I have in life? Xueling was speechless. The two continued to stare at each other in silence for a long time. Bai Qiuran finally remembered. Longevity pill, he stammered as he turned around. That? What was it? How much lifespan do I have left? It just ran out. Hey Xueling, you and I have known each other for 2,000 years. A little debt between us shouldn't be a problem, right? You guess. Xueling looked at Bai Qiuran with no expression. At this moment behind Xueling, many other gates connecting to the underworld appeared. Xueling didn't come alone this time. He brought 500 brothers from the ghost realm to fight Bai Quran, to the death Bai Quran. Today, I will make you pay for your crimes. As he finished speaking, Xueling and his 500 brothers charged at Bai Quran. The result was the same as thousands of years ago. This army of soul reapers was beaten black and blue by Bai Quran, left scattered along both sides of the road. It just felt chillingly cold along this road. So Ruowei didn't see the terrifying scene on both sides of the road, only felt a chill as she traveled along it. The scene shifts to the main peak of the Qingming sword sect now in the council chamber. At first I planned to add another round of disciple selection this time, just to celebrate the re-establishment of the sect gate. But I never thought that with this one selection, our Qingming sword sect would actually find a treasure. 2 more people with heavenly spiritual root aptitude have arrived, senior brother. You can't just look at aptitude, of course I know that. Even with normal aptitude, as long as one's mindset is firm, the number of people who attain the Tao through hard work is not small, just like me. I think my own aptitude is also very normal. Furthermore, we don't have to worry at all. If our Qingming sword sect disciples feel inferior because of their normal aptitude, slow progress, and unbalanced mindset, Zhu Yunzi's face turned devious as he said, after all, we still have our Grandmaster uncle here. The Qingming sword sect has another very good thing. Whenever a disciple sees themselves progressing slower than others at this point, when their mindset starts to become a problem, Zhu Yunzi or the other elders will introduce them to the lovely Grandmaster uncle of the Qingming sword sect. Your Grandmaster uncle is only at the Qi refining stage, yet he has been striving for 3,000 years. You've only encountered a small difficulty and you're already discouraged. And when the disciples hear that a senior has been persistently cultivating at the Qi refining stage for 3,000 years without giving up, they will all feel ashamed. In the future, they will return to practice diligently and strive hard. Although they don't know that, even though their Grandmaster uncle is only at the Qi refining stage. He is at the 664th level of Qi refining, with extremely terrifying combat power. After many years of experimenting with this method, Zhu Yunzi and the elders discovered that the success rate of disciples breaking through reached 987%. 6th Elder Liu Yun Yuanjun sternly reminded Sect Master Senior, brother, don't think that Grandmaster Uncle doesn't know anything. You distort the truth like that, be careful he doesn't hold a grudge against you. Ha ha ha. Don't I know, Grandmaster Uncle Zhu Yunzi. He's actually a very kind person. Oh right, tell Grandmaster Uncle that among the disciples selected this time, there seems to be one who said they wanted to find him. That's right. I know that disciple too. She said it was a white-haired, white-robed person named Bai Quran, who had done her a great kindness. This Bai Quran is definitely our Grandmaster uncle. Furthermore, this female disciple is from the noble lineage of the Shangshuan royal family. She is also one of the 2 disciples with heavenly spiritual root aptitude. Zhu Yunzi still put on a shameless face and said, this I really didn't expect that Grandmaster uncle at his old age would still have such taste after coming down the mountain salty. No, I mean, is it fate? Junior sister Cheng Yun, what does this little girl look like? Is she beautiful? With a gentle and intelligent nature. Furthermore, she scored very high in this selection, only ranking 2nd behind another heavenly spiritual root candidate by a small margin. This is probably because she doesn't yet fully understand the cultivation world. Zhu Yunzi gave a cunning smile. If even junior sister Qing Yun says so, then this young lady must not be bad either. Ha ha. Grandmaster uncle is so old, yet his heart is still so restless. Last time his entanglement with Su Xiangshui of the Heiwan sect was still unresolved, and now he's involved with someone else's princess, even getting found out at his doorstep, Zhu Yunzi said with a shameless grin, clearly wanting to mock his Grandmaster uncle. He looked very pleased, but he forgot that he was showing this in front of 6 elders. Zhu Yunzi pretended to cough a few times, his face turning purple with embarrassment as he sat down. All right then, what do you all think? 2nd elder, Xuan Yunzi asked with an indifferent expression. What do you mean, what? Zhu Yunzi then stood up and started beating around the bush again. Look, Grandmaster uncle has guarded our Qingming sword sect for over 3,000 years, but in all that time he hasn't had a companion. He hasn't even had his first love. As his disciples whom he raised, shouldn't we show a little filial piety to him now? 5th elder, Bai Renzi's eyes lit up. Sect Master, do you mean we're going to be his wingmen? Exactly, my brother. Liu Yun Yuanjun hesitated and spoke up. But junior sister Liu Yun, don't you want to see what our Grandmaster uncle is like when he's in love? Liu Yun Yuanjun hearing this hesitated for a moment, then her cheeks flushed, and she shyly replied, I really want to. Then all right. Zhu Yunzi nodded at this, then turned to Fu Yunzi and asked, where is Grandmaster uncle right now? After Grandmaster uncle returned, he went into secluded cultivation to refine pills and prepare for his breakthrough. I heard from the disciples guarding the mountain that when Grandmaster uncle returned, his body bore the marks of a very fierce battle. This is the mark left after Bai Qiuran fought against the 500 Ghost Realm, brothers led by Zhui Ling 4. Now, let's not disturb the old man. Who knows, maybe this time he'll really reach foundation establishment. Ha ha. Like hell, he can. We've all followed Grandmaster uncle for hundreds of years. We know him well. If anything, it's just breaking through to another level of the Qi refining stage. As expected of the sharp-tongued Zhu Yunzi, a true backstabber. If Grandmaster uncle heard what you said, you'd be guaranteed to be turned into dust. No joke, let's go. Let's go and bring that little girl along. We'll go to 7-Star Peak together to welcome Grandmaster uncle out of his seclusion. After speaking, Zhui Yunzi immediately took the lead, and along with the 6 elders eagerly headed towards 7-Star Peak to find Bai Qiuran. However, just as the group was excitedly about to set foot on 7-Star Peak, a deep, steady voice from behind interrupted them. Wait a moment. It turned out to be the third elder Byunzi. He offered his advice. I don't think doing this is a good idea. Grandmaster Uncle's romantic life is his own freedom. We as juniors should not interfere. Byunzi reminded them with a serious expression. Besides, aren't you afraid of getting beaten up? In response to the advice, Byunzi with a carefree, fearless attitude, pouted and said, My goodness, third brother, why are you so nosy today? Back when we were still disciples, you were the one who tattled the most. Grandmaster Uncle loves us like his own children. Even if he strikes, he won't strike hard. No need to be afraid. Let's go. Let's go. If junior brother Byun can't come, then so be it. As he finished, Byunzi and the other 5 flew off and disappeared. Just when they thought Byunzi wouldn't follow, he ended up quietly trailing behind. The scene shifts to the majestic 7-Star Peak Tang Ruwei, after traveling with the elders, has arrived. At this moment she was standing bewildered in the strange space, looking around her head, full of questions. What is this situation? Where on earth are these old geezers taking me? They're all elders of the Qingming sword sect. Just thinking about it is scary enough. The 7 of them were now standing in a neat line, with Byunzi in the center. They all turned their gaze towards Bai Quran's room. Tang Wei stood to one side, completely baffled by this strange behavior from the sect master and elders. We are here to welcome our grandmaster out of his seclusion. They all shouted in unison, their spirits soaring. Byunzi and the 6 elders stood in silence for a long time, no one uttering a single word. They all focused their attention just waiting for Bai Quran to open the door and step out. Tang Wei couldn't contain her curiosity any longer, and asked, Hey 7th elder, where is this place? What are you all here to do? Ru Wei was also wondering. Why did everyone have to bring a new disciple like me here? Qingyun Yuanjun smiled gently and explained, This is the place where your grandmaster uncle Bai Quran cultivates. We're here to wait for him to come out of seclusion. Hearing this, Ru Wei was secretly terrified. The renowned elders were here to wait for him. Could it be that Bai Quran holds a very high position in the sect? Our grandmaster uncle is the direct disciple of the founder of the Qingming sword sect. He holds a higher position than anyone else in the sect. The highest position in the Qingming sword sect. Hey, then why is he still at the qi refining stage? As soon as Ruowei said this, everyone turned to look at her with fear on their faces, quickly putting a finger to their lips, signaling for silence. Sha! Qingyun Yuanjun quickly explained. Don't mention cultivation levels and things like that. Here Grandmaster Uncle doesn't like to hear it. You'd better not speak carelessly in front of him. As for his realm, Grandmaster Uncle's situation is very special. Although it's the same realm, it's completely different from everyone else's. And Grandmaster Uncle is not weak at all. So Senior Bai Quran is that powerful. The sun was now almost at its zenith, and the door to Bai Quran's room finally creaked open. The 7 people stood in the courtyard, a mixture of emotions on their faces, fear, worry, anticipation, and a hint of curiosity. Bai Quran, with an emotionless face, slowly opened the door and stepped out. Grandmaster Uncle failed again. His complexion is terrible. Seeing these little cubs, Bai Quran didn't even bother to say anything. He just turned right and walked forward. He walked to a large rock, bent down and picked up a stone. Casually, he made a sharp scratch on the rock. Looking closely, you can see that the rock is now covered in countless scratches from Bai Quran. Tang Ruowei, hiding behind, saw Bai Quran doing this and out of curiosity asked, What is Bai Quran doing? Liu Yunyuanjun then explained in detail. That place used to be a demon-suppressing pagoda. In the past, demons appeared continuously. The Qingming disciples went down the mountain to eliminate them. But there were some demons with strong primordial spirits that were hard to destroy. So the disciples would capture their primordial spirits and imprison them inside the demon-suppressing pagoda, and a Qingming elder would personally be in charge of supervising their refinement. Later, Grandmaster Uncle moved here to stay. Every time he broke through to another level of the qi refining stage, he would pick up a rock and draw a line on the left side of this pagoda. Then why is it just a large rock now? Where is the demon-suppressing pagoda? Liu Yunwenjun looked at Tang Ruowei with a serious expression and slowly said, Later, the pagoda collapsed. Then wouldn't all those demons escape? That's right. But that day, after Grandmaster Uncle failed his breakthrough, he was in a very bad mood. So that time he took them out to vent his anger. None of them survived. They were all brutally killed by Grandmaster Uncle. Hearing this, Ruowei froze for 5 seconds. Bai Quran now sat alone on the rock, his gaze distant and unfocused. I can't figure out how he's so strong no matter how I look at it. Zhuo Yunzi and the 6 elders didn't dare to utter a single word. They all stood motionless, fearfully looking at Bai Quran. The whole group was now pushing each other, seeing who was brave enough to speak to their master Uncle Bai. No one dared to be the first to go and talk to Bai Quran finally. A foot quietly kicked Zhuo Yunzi hard in the butt, sending him stumbling forward. Zhuo Yunzi's face was filled with extreme fear as he looked at Bai Quran. Bai Quran, his eyes filled with killing intent, glanced down at Zhuo Yunzi from above. Zhuo Yunzi stammered in fear, forcing a smile. Grandmaster Uncle, you're out of seclusion, Bai Quran indifferently replied. What are you doing here, brat? I came to welcome Grandmaster Uncle out of his seclusion. Bai Quran glared at Zhuo Yunzi with sharp eyes, his voice dripping with sarcasm. Is there anything to celebrate that you came to welcome me? Zhuo Yunzi, you brat. Are you trying to mock me? Zhuo Yunzi, are you looking to get your bones stretched? Zhuo Yunzi, are you itching for a fight again? Zhuo Yunzi was now imagining many scenarios where Bai Quran could question him, which terrified him to the core. But thinking one thing and saying another, Jue Yunzi immediately knelt down, his voice full of flattery. I came to congratulate Grandmaster Uncle on another breakthrough. Your strength is becoming more and more domineering. Grandmaster Uncle, may you live as long as heaven and earth. Long live, long live, long, long live. Everyone silently sighed. It's over. They all covered their faces with their hands in exasperation. Jue Yunzi now also realized he had said something stupid and silently cried out. Oh crap, what am I saying? Bai Qiuran, his face expressionless, immediately jumped down in front of Jue Yunzi. Humph. You brat, you've been sect master for several hundred years. You've gotten quite tough, and your daring has increased quite a bit. 2. Cultivators should not be arrogant. Today, your Grandmaster Uncle will give you a little reminder of this principle. Bai Qiuran cracked his knuckles. The sound chilling, it terrified Jue Yunzi to the core. He quickly shouted, Grandmaster Uncle, spare me. Jue Yunzi was beaten black and blue by Bai Qiuran, just like Shui Ling in the previous episode, who was beaten and hung from a tree branch. Sigh 3rd. Junior brother's judgment was indeed correct. At times like these, it's best to let our big-mouthed senior brother start the conversation. I only asked who was leading the group out next, and you all pushed senior brother out. I didn't lay a hand on him. You know, Liu Yun Yuanjun turned to Bia Yunzi and said, 3rd senior brother, every time you think of it, you don't dare to act. The 7 of us should try to advance and retreat together for once. Hey, wait a minute, Grandmaster Uncle is here. A whole bunch of you elders aren't willing to handle the sex affairs. All of you came to my place. Are you here to welcome this old ancestor's new achievement? Bia Yunzi cleverly changed the subject. Grandmaster Uncle, our sect, has recently accepted a new female disciple. This person specifically named you and insisted on meeting you. Grandmaster Uncle Bai Qiuran asked in surprise. Looking for me? Who is it? It's over here. Bia Yunzi then glanced towards Tang Ruowei behind him. Ruowei shyly looked at Bai Qiuran, gently brushed her hair and spoke. Ah, hello, we meet again. Huh, Miss Tang? Why are you here? Bai Qiuran immediately glanced down at Tang Ruowei's chest, thinking to himself, her breasts are as big as a drum. She truly lives up to the name, Brother Tang. Bai Qiuran then chuckled and said, it's only been a few days, and your chest padding skills have improved dramatically. Tang Ruowei's face darkened, glaring at Bai Qiuran without a reply. Is this really what old companions should say when they meet again? Seeing Ruowei didn't answer, Bai Qiuran repeated himself again, his voice full of teasing. It's been a few days. Your chest padding skills have really improved, huh? This time he emphasized every word, causing the 6 elders to immediately glance at Tang Ruowei's chest. Ruowei's face darkened, a vein popping on her forehead. She silently chanted to herself. He definitely didn't do it on purpose. He definitely didn't do it on purpose. I'll just pretend I didn't hear anything. Only then did Bai Qiuran finally ask a different question, his tone casual. By the way, Miss Tang, why are you here? I heard the Qingming Sword Sect was recruiting disciples, so I decided to try and participate in the selection ceremony. Bai Qiuran fell silent for a moment, his gaze serious as he looked at Tang Ruowei and said, from the moment you step into the Qingming Sword Sect from now on, worldly troubles and hardships will always be by your side. Are you sure you want this? You are the princess of the Shangshuan Kingdom. Do you really want to give up everything to come here and cultivate? Even if I stay in the capital, I will only become a tool for a political marriage in the future. So you gave up being a princess, gave up a life of luxury, and ran up this mountain to find me, just to run away from your marriage. No, I came for you. Ruowei's eyes sparkled as she looked at Bai Qiuran. The elders standing to one side were agape. Then they smirked at each other. Is this a secret romance? Bai Qiuran was also completely surprised. A thought flashed through his mind. Could it be because when we first met, I accidentally complimented her on being tougher than my own chest, so now she's come to my door for revenge? But then Ruowei said I just wanted to see what your sect is like. I thought there was some romance involved, which left the elders quite disappointed. The 6 of them turned to each other and whispered, look at Grandmaster Uncle's reaction. There's something very shady about this. This little girl is definitely just being shy. Grandmaster Uncle really doesn't understand women's feelings at all. Look, the things she's been saying, they're not really from the heart. That's good then. That's good. Since you've joined, you are now a member of our Qingming Sword Sect. We welcome you very much, Miss Tang. Ruowei shyly said, don't call me. Miss Tang, I am now a disciple of the Qingming Sword Sect, and you must be a great elder in the sect. Then I should address you with respect. I can't forget the proper etiquette. It's fine, it's fine. You don't need to worry about my seniority. Besides the sect master and the elders, very few people outside know me. You also don't have to worry about others saying you lack proper etiquette. Everyone, do you think I'm right? Right, absolutely right. Who dares to say that Grandmaster Uncle's teaching skills are lacking? Bai Qiuran smiled happily, seeing how obedient these little demons were. All right, don't just stand outside anymore. Come on in. Yes, Master Uncle. But there's still one who hasn't gone in, still hanging from that tree. Everyone followed Bai Qiuran into the house. Everyone have a seat. At this moment on Bai Qiuran's table were 4 pills. The fragrant medicinal aroma filled the entire room. 4th Elder Fu Yunzi immediately recognized the scent of a Foundation Establishment pill. He casually picked one up and sniffed it. This really is a Foundation Establishment pill, but it's not just a Foundation Establishment pill. He turned to Bai Qiuran in astonishment and asked, Grandmaster Uncle, this Foundation Establishment pill of yours, it's infused with so much true qi and medicinal herbs. That's right, my true qi is too vast. It's hard to find a tonic in this world that works on me. Instead of wasting so many heavenly treasures, it's better to just let my own true qi grow on its own. With this kind of transformation, I think in Grandmaster Uncle's case, let alone breaking through one level, even charging at Foundation Establishment would be more than enough, right? That's why I now feel like I might be about to break through hearing Baikuran say this. The young men all fell into an indescribable silence. Didn't Grandmaster Uncle just come out of seclusion? Grandmaster Uncle is truly a monster. If you want to continue your secluded cultivation to charge at Foundation Establishment, you probably need to prepare. Then it's not convenient. We will take our leave for now. We will bring this young lady to see you another day. No need, I don't need to prepare at all. Breakthrough is just another level anyway. I'm preparing to compress my realm a bit to see if I can compress my true chi into a liquid state, Ruowei asked in surprise. Compressing your realm? How do you do that? It's holding it in. Kind of like when you have to poop, but you hold it in and don't go to the bathroom. A very easy to understand and practical explanation, Qingyun happily said. So in other words, during this time, Grandmaster Uncle has nothing to do, right? Yeah, I'm very free. What's up? Then why not let you teach this little girl? Ruowei, Miss Tang is like you, also at the heavenly spiritual root level. Her mindset is also very good. There are no obstacles at all. Being your disciple, she's barely qualified. Baikuran looked embarrassed and replied, You have 7 people and none of you can teach her. Why ask me to do it? I'm only at the chi refining stage. As for your teaching skills, Grandmaster Uncle, all 7 of us have experienced them ourselves. We have absolute trust. Everyone, do you agree? Right, absolutely right. Everyone, do you agree? Right, absolutely right. Who dares to say that Grandmaster Uncle's teaching skills are lacking? That would also mean that the 7 of us are lacking. Even the Grand Elder and the entire Qingming sword sect is lacking. They're just looking for trouble. Right. Baikuran watched the little brat's performance with half-closed eyes. Baikuran said seriously, Have you all been using secret signals to pressure me this whole time? Being hit in the heart, the people pretended to be indifferent and turned their faces to the door. When they saw Jue Yunzi lying unconscious on a tree branch, they immediately felt scared and waved their hands to argue, No, absolutely no. This matter still has to be asked to the main character. Is Miss Tang willing to take me as her master? Let me say this first. I truly only have the cultivation level of the chi refining stage. Ruowei was currently confused, not knowing what to do, because she was also quite surprised by this idea from the elders. Initially, she only thought they brought her here to meet Baikuran, and that would be it. Who knew they wanted to push her to become his disciple. Ruowei turned to look at everyone. They all looked back at her with eyes that said, Hurry up and agree. If you don't even think about living peacefully with this bunch. Why are they looking at me so strangely? Although I don't know what they're up to, they are still the great elders of the sect for now. Maybe I should cooperate with them a little. Ruowei turned to look at Baikuran and said, Of course I am willing. I don't really understand the realm divisions of cultivators. Even if your realm is very low, your actual strength is terrifying. Qingyun Yuanjun exclaimed happily, Then it's settled. Seeing this, Bie Yunzi quickly stood up. Then I'll go get the jade pendant that symbolizes the status of Grandmaster's personal disciple and bring the clothes here for her. Oh, so you came prepared. Baikuran's voice suddenly turned cold. His gaze fixed on Bie Yunzi, his tone full of sarcasm. Not bad, you've all become as tough as the kid out there, haven't you? Having been called out, Bie Yunzi looked fearfully at Baikuran, stuttering, I wouldn't dare. Grandmaster, please go easy on me. Forget it, I'm very free. Anyway, teaching Miss Tang a little is no problem at all. A heavenly level talent with an earth spiritual root. The Shangshuan royal family from past to present seems to have concentrated all its talent into you. Ruowei was surprised. You could tell just by looking for a moment. It took me a long time touching that stone to measure it. A spiritual root isn't something too rare. Eating some heaven-mending pills can also make up for it. I heard there were 2 people with heavenly spiritual roots this time. Where is the other one? Bie Yunzi stammered. The other one has a metal spiritual root. He was accepted as a disciple by the sect master. That sect master is currently hanging in a tree. Remember to remind Jue Yun to mentally crush that person a lot, so he can see for himself that a heavenly spiritual root is nothing. About that, we shouldn't use too much force to crush him. Otherwise, it's easy for him to develop an inferiority complex. Baikuran glanced sideways at the elders and said, In the Qingming sword sect, here don't you still have me a perfectly good grandmaster to use? Do you really think that every time you bring your disciples and stand on the cliffs of your mountain peaks pointing fingers at the 7 stars peak that I can't see you? Hitting a nerve again, the elders' faces all turned pale, trembling, looking at Baikuran with terrified eyes. All right, the person I've accepted her. Are you satisfied this time? You should all go back now. The daily affairs of the Qingming sword sect still need you all to go back and handle them. Baikuran waved his hand to dismiss the group. Oh, I forgot, don't forget to take that piece of meat stuck in the tree back with you. All right, you guys. Hurry up and get lost before they could say goodbye. Baikuran slammed the door shut, to the astonishment of the whole group. So they lined up and one by one approached the tree where Jue Yunzi was hanging. Third elder Bie Yunzi quickly pulled Jue Yunzi down from the branch and carried him on his shoulder. Did we just succeed in matchmaking? I don't know either. I don't dare to ask. Let's just get out of here quickly. The 6 of them immediately flew up into the sky, returning to their own peaks. I finally managed to get rid of them. Baikuran closed the door and came to sit down opposite Ruowei, letting out a sigh of relief. Hi, now that the elders and the sect master are gone, I naturally feel much more relaxed. Ruowei cursed inwardly. I feel like the pressure has multiplied. From now on, you must change how you address me. Just call me Shizen Master. Come on, say it once, and let me hear. I've never heard it before in my life. Ruowei now looked at Baichuran, shyly blushing with steam coming from her head after a long while. She finally lowered her head, her lips trembling as she hesitantly called out to Baichuran Shishizun. After hearing it, Baichuran's expression was both satisfied and slyly wicked. "Aya, my good disciple. His smile looks like he's mocking me, doesn't it? You have to change how you address me too. If you have the guts, try calling my name." "What's the big deal?" Baichuran pretended to cough a few times, then put on a completely different expression than before, his eyes confidently looking straight into Ruowei's as he said, "Ruowei." After hearing him, Ruowei froze for 5 seconds, followed by shyly blushing with steam still coming from her head. She didn't dare to look at Baichuran anymore. She immediately stood up and stammered, I'm going to the washroom for a bit." As she left, she wasn't paying attention and even stepped on the hem of Baichuran's robe. "Where is the washroom?" "Go out and turn left." And so Ruowei went into the washroom and stayed in there for a long time, refusing to come out. "Humph, little girl wants to play with me? Do you think I've lived for 3,000 years for nothing? If I get serious, what girl could stand in front of me and tease me for even 10 minutes? Got an erection, haven't I? Eek, what I just said seems wrong somewhere. Why does my heart ache so much?" The next day, Third Elder Biayunzi not only brought Tang Ruowei her status jade pendant and new sect uniform, but he also conveniently built a small courtyard for Baichuran, adding a boudoir for Tang Ruowei, along with a meditation platform for her cultivation. After a simple master-disciple ceremony, Tang Ruowei officially became Baichuran's disciple, becoming his first official disciple in over 3,000 years. Today at the 7 Stars Peak, Tang Ruowei began her first day of cultivation. "Ruowei, do you know that at the beginning of the path of cultivation, what is the most important thing?" "Shizun, that would be one's foundation, and bone's foundation. And bones are of course important, but they are not the most important thing. Overall, the path of cultivation is like building a skyscraper. One's innate talent and foundation determine the shortcut to gathering materials, but this shortcut can be achieved through postnatal effort. And if this building wants to become solid and firm, it must have a good foundation preparing a truly solid groundwork. And this solid foundation is your own body. To build a good foundation, you must train your body well. But Shizun, I have been cultivating the mystic dragon art of our Shangshuan royal family since I was 6. I feel that my physical constitution is much better than that of ordinary mortals. It's not enough. You shouldn't look down on cultivation. With just that level of constitution, you can't even support a full magnificent skyscraper. Since you are my disciple, I must naturally help you go as far as possible so you can reach a realm even higher than mine." "You mean a realm of 60,000 levels? The cultivation method you practice is more than enough for a mortal kingdom's national guarding divine art, but for a cultivator, its inner key is not exquisite enough. In terms of external techniques, it doesn't penetrate the art deeply enough. Not enough foundation to forge a good body," Ruowei asked with some concern. "Then, what should I do now? Since I said that, of course I have a method for you. Give me your hand. It might be a little painful in a moment, so don't hate your master for it, okay?" At this moment, Baichuran's and Tang Ruowei's hands were pressed together. From the palm of Baichuran, a stream of true qi. In the mortal realm of the 9 provinces, there exists an ancient cultivation sect called the Qingming Sword Sect. Every 100 years, this sect produces a generation of powerful experts at the spirit transformation stage, integration stage, and even old monster cultivators at the tribulation level. Even more terrifyingly, about 3,000 years ago, there was a sect master who broke through the heavenly tribulation and ascended to immortality in broad daylight, witnessed by the entire world for thousands of years. Despite enduring countless disasters, the Qingming Sword Sect has stood tall without falling, continuing its legacy to this day. And this year it is time for the grand recruitment of disciples for the Qingming Sword Sect, an event that occurs once every 20+ years. Countless people from all over flocked here hoping to register for this prestigious selection. The line of people was incredibly long, and the buzz of conversation was endless. "I'm already at the 3rd level of qi refining. I wonder what this uncle's cultivation level is. I'm at the 4th level of qi refining. My goodness. Is that uncle almost 60? If you can't break through to the nascent soul stage after 40 years, you might as well quit cultivating for your own good. Hurry back to your hometown to raise pigs, lead buffalo, and farm fish and vegetables. Why bother competing here? What are you even doing here?" The number of people registering to join was so large that the selection process had to extend late into the night.